And so far, the signs are that the continuation isn't accomplishing much either. Though there were a few parts of the country that saw a relative calm during the Eid al-Fitr celebrations, the overall level of violence was said to be largely unchanged. On Sunday, the fighting largely centered on Aleppo, where al-Qaeda rebels are fighting with the military over areas around the key supply road. Although the military had initially presented the ceasefire as all-encompassing and nationwide, it appears to have excluded al-Qaeda and the Islamic State, albeit not explicitly so, as Syria and its allies have continued targeting both throughout and publicly affirmed such incidents. Though the Eid ceasefire was seen as an effort at being conciliatory during the important Muslim holiday, it isn't clear why there is an extension, as it doesn't appear that most rebel factions plan to abide by it anyhow. The Free Syrian Army had accepted the initial ceasefire but has yet to comment on the extension. Are you an advocate for free market money? Do you promote Bitcoin as an alternative in a fiat-centric world? Then you need Spendabit in your arsenal, the search engine for things you can buy with Bitcoin. Spendabit aggregates millions of products from thousands of Bitcoin-enabled merchants. Keep your money in the free economy. Visit spendabit.co today. Bitcoin merchants, ask about our merchant suite to reach even more customers. Spendabit.co. UPI reports the British government rejected an online petition signed by more than 4.1 million people seeking a second referendum on the country leaving the European Union. The Foreign Office said the referendum was a once-in-a-generation vote and the decision must be respected. The referendum to leave the European Union, known as Brexit, was supported by 52% of voters on June 23rd. The petition said, "We, the undersigned, call upon Her Majesty's government to implement a rule that if the remain or leave vote is less than 60%, based on a turnout of less than 75%, there should be another referendum." The referendum turnout was 72.2%, according to the Electoral Commission. Parliament must consider all petitions that receive over 100,000 signatures. The petition committee was verifying signatures and had already thrown out 77,000 fraudulent ones. For nearly 40 years, Roberts & Roberts Brokerage has been a trusted source for buying and selling precious metals like gold and silver. They also take Bitcoin for precious metal purchases and have permanently removed the minimum purchase amount for all orders paid in the digital currency. Call Roberts & Roberts today for knowledgeable advice on buying and selling precious metals and a forward-thinking approach to new technologies. 800-874-9760 or visit online at rrbi.co. Reuters reports 3 countries have warned their citizens to stay on guard when visiting U.S. cities rocked by sometimes violent protests that erupted after a string of police shootings. The United States regularly issues travel warnings urging Americans to either avoid or exercise caution in countries marred by violence or police instability. Now the United States is the focus of concern by foreign governments in the Middle East and Caribbean as protesters marched in U.S. cities throughout the weekend after police killed black men in Louisiana and Minnesota last week. The protests have led to numerous arrests, scuffles, and injuries and confrontations between police and demonstrators. The United States was also tense after a lone gunman on Thursday shot dead 5 police officers during a protest in Dallas. The U.S. Embassy in Bahrain, a tiny Middle Eastern island nation, on Saturday urged citizens via Twitter to be cautious of protests in crowded areas occurring around the U.S. The Bahamas, a Caribbean nation with a majority black population, on Friday warned its people to be careful when visiting U.S. cities rocked by shootings of young black males by police officers. The Bahamian Foreign Ministry said in a travel advisory, in particular, young males are asked to exercise extreme caution in affected cities and the interactions with police. Do not be confrontational and cooperate. The United Arab Emirates urged its students and other citizens in the United States to also be careful, using similar language that the U.S. State Department employs when warning Americans about countries that have fallen victims to attacks by extremists. This has been FPP Radio News, online at fppradio.com.
The Subway restaurant chain has reacted with shock this week after executives discovered that many customers are apparently purchasing footlong sandwiches and eating the entire 12 inches by themselves. A spokesperson for the company addressed reporters this morning.
This is not how our products are intended to be consumed. Our footlong subs have always been meant to be shared among 2 or more friends. Eating an entire foot of food shouldn't be possible for most people, but they've been doing it somehow, and it needs to stop.
To encourage healthier eating habits, Subway is clarifying its marketing, adjusting language on menus and in television commercials like this one.
$5 footlongs? Wow, that's $2.50 per person.
Subway's corporate leadership says they were horrified to learn of the misunderstanding.
It's frightening. I mean, you don't see people eating entire pizzas by themselves. We even cut the footlongs in half into 2 regular-sized sandwiches before handing them to you. But I guess that wasn't clear enough.
This is the Onion News Network.
Free Talk Live.
It's Free Talk Live, and you're invited to join us on the radio here. We're talking about, well, whatever you want to discuss. Also, bomb-wielding police robots. Yes, the first time ever so far in the history of the United States that a bomb was delivered by a robot, by a police department, to detonate a suspect. And with you in studio tonight, it's Ian.
And Daryl.
Also,
and it's not the first time that the police have used a bomb against a suspect.
Sure. I mean,
it's the first time they've had a robot deliver the bomb.
Correct. I mean, it was the MOVE group in Philadelphia that got firebombed by the police there back in the 70s?
It was 1985, and they dropped the explosive out of a helicopter. Yeah.
Right. So, yeah, definitely not the first time the police have bombed people and killed innocent folks. And I'm not saying the guy in Dallas was innocent, but certainly in Philly there were innocents. Anyway, story coming from Vice.com. It is an unprecedented shift in policing, they say. Authorities in Dallas used a bomb robot to kill one of multiple suspects in a sniping spree that left 5 officers dead on Thursday. An unprecedented act in the history of American policing that raises concerns about due process and the use of remotely triggered lethal force by law enforcement. The robot was used after an hours-long standoff to kill Micah Johnson, who police believe did some of the shooting. According to Dallas Police Chief David Brown, he told reporters Friday that prior to using the robot, Dallas police exchanged gunfire with Johnson on the second floor of a parking garage. Quote, "We saw no other option than to use our bomb robot and placed a device on its extension to detonate where the suspect was." So this wasn't some sort of in the moment, they just decided to strap a bomb to this robot. This robot has a specific purpose of being able to be there, be somewhere, deliver a bomb to a target to maybe survive the explosion.
Well,
I don't know.
Presumably, this is the robot that goes to pick up the possible explosives and
Correct.
take it away from the police
From
or
the photos I've seen, yes.
Other people. But here they're like, oh, you know what? We've got this little bomb-carrying robot. Let's have him deliver a bomb over to this guy that is a bad man.
May or may not be the shooter. I mean, he probably was the shooter. I wasn't there. Quote, "We saw no other option," he says. Brown raises an obvious question that the U.S. military has grappled with. If a shooter is holed up in a building, who do you send? A person or a bot? Details about the specific model of robot used and whether the device that Brown was referring to was a bomb belonging to the Dallas Police Department, the suspect's own device, or something used to trigger a bomb placed by the suspect are still unavailable. And Dallas police did not respond to Motherboard's request for comment. It sure as hell sounds like the police strapped a bomb to this thing, doesn't it?
Yes.
There was no other allegation that the suspect had a bomb, right? All I heard about was shootings.
Right.
Did you hear about any bombs going off?
I did not. Although the claim is that this guy, Micah Xavier Johnson, had told the police during the negotiation period that he had placed IEDs around town.
Oh. But they never found them, right?
They never found any.
The suspect, quote, "is deceased as a result of detonating the bomb," unquote, from the head of the police department.
They blew him the hell up.
Well, yeah, they definitely did.
Right, but the way they word this thing, and this is something that greatly annoys me, is to where they'll word the stuff to alleviate the blame of the police officer. That there was an incident not too far from here a few weeks ago where headline, road closed due to officer-involved shooting. Not a police officer got shot.
Yeah.
A police officer shot somebody, but they just said officer-involved shooting.
So it sounds
So-and-so was taken to the hospital after an officer-involved shooting. The police officer discharged his firearm.
Yeah. Well,
the police officer shot somebody, but the media reports it as somebody went to the hospital. There was an officer-involved shooting. The police officer discharged his firearm.
Yeah.
So it's sort of, backtracking to what happened.
You have to read between the lines.
Read it, right, when you read it, it was like, oh, no, the cop didn't shoot the guy. There was an officer-involved shooting, and the guy's in the hospital.
Yeah, I mean, they're clearly obscuring the truth in that in that matter, and I think that we get some heat sometimes, libertarians, because we'll tell it like it is, like, oh, the police will take you and put you into a cage, they will kidnap you. But no, the people who are sort of inside the system, they think it's disrespectful to call an arrest a kidnapping or a jailing a caging or whatever, even though it's a more of an accurate term. It's really the government that uses euphemisms for the things that they do. Taxation as opposed to, coercive extortion.
Armed robbery.
Yeah. So I'm totally with you on that, Daryl. The toll-free number, if you want to join us here, the discussion about the bomb-delivering robot in Dallas is opening up, not just on Motherboard, but there's headlines over on Drudge Report and elsewhere about this today.
Well, one thing that I think is interesting is that it's the bomb being delivered by the robot that is getting people talking about due process. Not the police choking a man to death on the sidewalk of New York City. Not the police shooting somebody sitting in his car after he informs them, I've got a concealed carry license.
Right.
None of that has brought up the discussion about due process, but a robot taking a bomb over to somebody and then blowing the guy up, that's when people all of a sudden are concerned about due process.
You can join us toll-free, 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. Skype username is LRN.FM. 3 other suspects in the shooting spree, which took place during a demonstration against police killings and left 7 wounded, are currently in custody. Brown's description is consistent with a controlled explosion, a wartime bomb disposal tactic in which a robot drops a charge near a suspected explosive. The sort of ground robots used in those scenarios, and now the one that played out in Dallas, are not autonomous and usually used strictly for bomb disposal. So your speculation was correct, Daryl. These devices have been weaponized, however, as seen with U.S. military bomb bots fitted with machine guns. The military says the guns are for shooting suspected explosive devices. Sure they are. In the United States, remote tech bomb disposal robots used by law enforcement have been outfitted with guns that are designed to detonate bombs in a controlled manner.
Okay, so I'm a little confused here when it says that the robots are designed to shoot explosive devices.
That's what the military says.
Does that mean that what fires out of the barrel is an explosive device, or does it mean the target that is being hit by a bullet is an explosive device?
Well, it's
because those are two totally different things, but because English is such a weird, screwed up language, it could mean both or either.
Yeah, this is a summary of what the military says by Motherboard. It's not an exact quote from the military's documents.
Right, but even if it was an exact quote from the military documents, because English is such a screwed up language, it's still a little confusing about whether what is being shot by the thing, what comes out of the barrel explodes, or what gets hit by the bullet explodes.
The actual sentence here in the article is the military says the guns are for shooting suspected explosive devices. But again, that's just a summary or a paraphrase by Motherboard, so who knows exactly how the military phrased it to get Motherboard to write it that way. Either way, Peter W. Singer is an expert in military technology and robot warfare at the New America Foundation. He tweeted, "This is the first known incident of domestic police in the United States using a robot to kill a suspect." Singer tweeted that the wars in Iraq and Afghanistan, soldiers have strapped Claymore mines to the $8,000 MarkBot using duct tape to turn them into jury-rigged killing devices. Singer says all indications are that the Dallas Police Department did something similar in this case. It improvised to turn a surveillance robot into a killing machine. Or did they improvise? Because that's my question. It wouldn't be a surprise if the bomb disposal robot was also marketed to police as though, hey, if you ever need something to deliver a bomb somewhere, you could use this too. Nudge, nudge, wink, wink. Maybe.
Or, it could have been something to where the people just said, hey, this thing picks up bombs and takes them away. We could use it to carry a bomb.
The question is, though, did they think of it in the moment, or was this something that they had in the playbook? The toll-free number is 855-450-FREE, and what does it mean for the future of policing in America? 855-450-3733. Join us on Free Talk Live.
Every once in a while, you get information that's worth changing your life for. This is one such time. You can save up to and beyond 25% on all purchases at Amazon. You probably heard of Bitcoin and just not thought much about it. You certainly know that you can get competitive pricing at Amazon, but now you can get a 25% discount on nearly everything you need to live. I've just given you a huge raise, and all you have to do is claim it. You go to saveitpurse.com and open an account. Do this right now. Don't wait. Then you fund the account with Bitcoin. You can buy them through expresscoin.com with a check or money order. There are other ways to get Bitcoin, but that's fast, safe, and easy. This information is worth you changing the way you do things. Go to saveitpurse.com right now, get signed up, and cash in on the huge raise I'm offering you. 15 to 25% off of everything at Amazon through saveitpurse.com. It's saveatpurse.com.
I'm Nick Soboleski, a Select Quote agent with a true story that could save you hundreds of dollars a year. A woman named Linda just called. Her husband, Ray, has a $300,000 group life insurance policy, but is changing jobs and can't take it with him. Well, I impartially shopped the highly rated term life insurance companies we represent and found Ray, who is 41 and takes medication to control his cholesterol, a 10-year, $500,000 policy for under $26 a month. That's almost twice the coverage for less than half of what he had paid. If SelectQuote hasn't shopped for your life insurance, you're probably paying too much.
For your free quote, call 1-800-403-4885. That's 1-800-403-4885. 1-800-403-4885. Or go to SelectQuote.com. We shop. You save. Get full details in the example policy at SelectQuote.com/commercials. Your price could vary depending on your health, issuing company, and other factors. Not available in all states.
Why did you move to the Shire?
I moved here to the Shire because there's other people around who take liberty just as seriously as I do.
I moved to the Shire because I saw videos of people challenging authority and thought that I could get support myself. It called to me, like, do this right now.
I wanted to be around people like me who got it. And once I got here, I knew there was nowhere else that I wanted to be.
I've always wanted to change the world. So I moved to the Shire to join people who were actually working towards doing the same thing.
The people here are awesome, loving, and positive. It was for the adventure and for the feeling of something important is happening here. And I just wanted to come to sort of be part of that.
Visit ShireSociety.com to read and sign the Shire Society Declaration and learn the reasons why, if you love liberty, you should immigrate to the Shire. Plus, add yourself to the Shire map at ShireSociety.com. That's ShireSociety.com. Did you know you can watch Free Talk Live during our live show 7 days a week from 7 to 10 p.m. Eastern via our studio cams at cam.freetalklive.com? Plus, you can chat with other listeners while you watch, all totally free. Now that our live video stream is hosted by YouTube, our video archives will be online even faster. So be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Listen, watch, and chat all free at cam.freetalklive.com. That's cam.freetalklive.com.
This is your Roberts & Roberts Brokerage Daily Precious Metals Update. In early trading Monday, gold is $10 lower at $1,357 per ounce, and silver is even at $20.31 per ounce. Bitcoin is currently trading at $646 US. Roberts & Roberts Brokerage has been helping clients buying and selling precious metals for nearly 40 years. For more information, give us a call at 800-874-9760 or visit us online at rrbi.co.
Listen to LRN.FM on any phone, anytime. 641-552-5046. That's 641-552-5046.
It's Free Talk Live. You are invited to join us right here. Our toll-free number for you, 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. Skype in here. Username on Skype is LRN.FM. All you have to do is send a contact request over. We'll approve it, and you'll be good to go to contact us on Skype from that point forward. With you tonight, it's Ian.
And Daryl.
We're talking about the bomb-delivering robot in Dallas, which probably any police department with a bomb squad has this capability. If they've got the bomb, whatever they call it, diffusing robot or bomb carrying robot.
The bomb that, or the robot that carries possible explosives away from a scene can also be used to carry explosives onto a scene.
Yep, surprise, surprise. So that's what we've been discussing. You can also bring up whatever's on your mind here, as Donald Trump claims he's the law and order candidate in the wake of all of these shootings. We can talk about that as well, and what to do about the police. Why is there so much hatred towards them? What can they do to stop it? I believe you have something that kind of addresses that, Daryl, but I haven't read the story. So the toll-free number again, 855-450-FREE. Also, there's a great app on the internet for monitoring your digital assets like Bitcoin, Ether, Dash, Dogecoin, or whatever else other alternatives to Bitcoin that you have in your altfolio, if you will. Go to coincap.io. It's a great app. It's available for both Google, or rather for Android and for iOS devices. Plus, there's an awesome-looking website as well that you can just go and enjoy at coincap.io. Our toll-free number again, 855-450-FREE. Back to the story here from motherboard.vice.com. They're talking about in Afghanistan some of the similarities between what the military is doing with robots and bombs, and now what the U.S. police are doing in the city of Dallas for the first time ever, with strapping a bomb to a robot and then delivering the bomb toward where a suspect is holed up and detonating it. Apparently in Afghanistan, soldiers have strapped Claymore mines to a MarkBot using duct tape and turned that into a jury-rigged killing device. Improvised device or not, the concerns here mirror a debate that's been going on for a few years now. Should law enforcement have access to armed drones? Or, for that matter, weaponized robots? In 2013, Kentucky Senator Rand Paul staged a 13-hour filibuster that was focused entirely on concerns about the use of armed drones on U.S. soil. Last year in North Dakota.
Hold on, but before you continue, it was not, I think, 2 weeks after Rand Paul gave that speech on the floor of the Senate where he said no American should be killed by a drone without first having been convicted of a crime and sentenced by a judge. He was on, I believe it was either CNN or MSNBC, and he said, I never said I'm against drones. If cops have drones and somebody walks out of a liquor store with a gun and $50, I don't care if a cop kills him or a drone kills him.
Oh, yeah, I remember that.
So he's not against people being executed by police. He's against the military killing people with drones.
Wow, there was actually a press conference with Gary Johnson and Bill Weld with the National Press Club this week. Did you get a chance to see any of that?
I do everything I can to not watch any of that.
Some of it was really hard to watch, and I haven't.
That's why I don't watch it.
Yeah,
I watched parts of the CNN thing.
Okay,
where they basically filleted Barack Obama and Hillary Clinton.
That was really bad. In this case, there was this sort of non-answer that Gary Johnson gave to a question, and I'll have to see if I can pull up the audio from it. It was really low audio, so I couldn't just play it directly from YouTube. I'll have to dub it. But just to summarize, Johnson's answer was basically a non-answer to the question of how would Gary Johnson, as president, handle this situation with the police killing black people, shooting people, and getting away with it. I'm paraphrasing the question, but Johnson just sort of gave this political statement that really wasn't even anything meaningful or concrete about what he would do about that. It was really just a lame lame answer on his part. So we'll continue here. Your thoughts are welcome. 855-450-FREE. Jay Stanley is a senior policy analyst for the American Civil Liberties Union. He said that, quote, when domestic law enforcement officers can use force from a distance, it may become too easy for them to do so. And the inevitable result will be that these weapons are overused. Last year, North Dakota became the first state to legalize non-lethal weaponized drones for its police officers. That's strange. I wouldn't have thought North Dakota would be leading the way in the militarization of the police.
I'm trying to figure out what sorts of crime they have in North Dakota that would cause them to have non-lethal weaponized, and what exactly would be a non-lethal thing? Tranquilizer darts? Those are certainly lethal in certain circumstances. Tasers, they claim, are non-lethal, but those have killed a lot of people. Billy clubs, like you could fling billy clubs at people from something, but if you're hurling things from, high up, then those certainly become lethal.
Stanley wrote in a blog post for the ACLU while North Dakota was considering the bill, quote, he said, when officers are not physically present, their perception of a situation and their judgment about when to apply force is more likely to be flawed. Non-targets are more likely to be injured, and excessive amounts of force are more likely to be applied. I mean, we've seen the police get away with murder. When they are personally there to pull the trigger, they get away with murder. Now, if all the police have to do is say, we believe there's a suspect behind that wall over there and he's got a gun. We're afraid for our lives. Well, boys, stay right where you are. You can't put yourselves in harm's way. Officer safety is paramount. These are things that the police, have done. They've hid out while human shooters were shooting people to death and waited and waited and waited. Like in Columbine, it was one of the first examples where the police arrived in large numbers and just kind of waited around outside for a while as they figured out their officer safety stuff. So now it's going to be, there's a suspect. We think he's got a gun over there. Let's send the bomb robot in. Because why not? We don't want to put an officer in jeopardy. What do you think about it? The toll-free number is 855-450-FREE. Stanley also noted that drones and other remote weapons would, quote, increase the militarization of the police, unquote. The ability for police to remotely kill suspects raises due process concerns. If a shooter is holed up and alone, can they be qualified as an imminent threat to life? Well, yeah, you damn well better believe they will be qualified as that, especially if they've even just flashed a gun. I bet you that someone won't even have to shoot. Because obviously if someone's shooting from a concealed position, it's pretty clear that that's a threat to someone's life, that somebody innocent could be hurt or whatever. But if somebody flashes a gun and then runs into a house, or flashes a gun and runs behind some sort of concrete wall or whatever, then they're going to have all the excuse they'll need. Well, we've done this before. They did it over in Dallas, so they got away with it. Let's try it out. Strap that bomb to that robot.
Yeah.
Oh, and then they'll be fighting over who gets to control it on the way in.
Absolutely disgusting.
Brian Kastner, let's see here. Are there clear protocols about when a robot can be used to engage a suspect versus when a human needs to engage him or her? When can the use of lethal force be administered remotely? Brian Kastner, a motherboard contributor and former U.S. military explosive ordnance technician, said the incident in Dallas makes him queasy. Kastner served 2 tours in Iraq, defusing roadside bombs. Said he was involved with a similar case when a bomb disposal robot was used to deliver an explosive and kill someone. He said, quote, we eventually did it, and I'm still not sure it was the right call, unquote. Toll-free number if you want to join us here, 855-450-FREE, 855-450-3733. You can share your thoughts with us on Free Talk Live.
Attention backpackers, on a budget, why spend $80 to $300 to pump clean survival water? Introducing the VIBA Water Pump Kit from VIBA Outdoor Products. Super easy to use and super lightweight at only 6.5 ounces, the VIBA Water Pump Kit provides high flow rate at 1 ounce per stroke, can be one-hand pumped, and is dependable and affordable at only $24.99, filter not included. Get your VIBA Water Pump Kit at VIBA-ODP.com from VIBA Outdoor Products.
Hunters, anglers, campers, and survivalists. Get back to nature. Expand your horizons with the highest quality, most versatile, unique slingshots and sling bows on the market at slingbow.com. Slingbow products are compact and models start from just $17.98. They're perfect for your bug-out bag or storing in your vehicle. Give yourself and your loved ones the excitement and tradition of Slingbow, a new frontier in archery and truly modern twist on this primitive survival tool. Feel the thrill only at slingbow.com.
So the protection of life, liberty, and property is what the Free State Project is all about. But it's an effort to move 20,000 people who understand.
It's about demonstrating to the entire country
that, yeah, we can have a free market, a truly free market.
Making it just a freer, great place to live.
It's the world's largest voluntarist libertarian community, and it's only getting bigger.
That's amazing, to be able to move to a place where other people passionately believe in being free and independent.
What the Free State Project is managing to do, though, is to put their money where their mouth is. It's physically getting up across the country and saying, let's go someplace and let's demonstrate the power of these ideas. There's a lot of kind of philosophy that surrounds liberty. There's a lot of thinking about it and talking about it. But here in New Hampshire, people are doing it.
101 Reasons Liberty Lives in New Hampshire, a documentary by Free State Project Early Movers. Watch it free at 101reasonsfilm.com. 101reasonsfilm.com. Ross Ulbricht was convicted in early 2015 of running the infamous Silk Road Underground Market. The Silk Road was a gift to humanity and helped reduce the harms brought on by drug prohibition. For this good deed, Ross has been sentenced to life in prison with no possibility of parole. Now, an appeal is Ross's only chance, and he needs your support. Please visit freeross.org, where you can contribute via various methods, including Bitcoin. Visit freeross.org. That's freeross.org.
LRN.FM is proud to announce our official listening apps for Android and iOS devices. Now you can easily tune into our streams anywhere, anytime on your smartphone or tablet. Just visit apps.lrn.fm or search for LRN.FM in the Android or Apple app stores. Please download, rate us 5 stars, then share the link on your social media and let your friends and family know how you're listening to LRN.FM. Download it now, free at apps.lrn.fm.
There is no such thing as attention span, according to Jerry Seinfeld, who figures that people have an infinite attention span if you are entertaining them. Hey, he's kept us from channel surfing for several decades, and now he's making more millions as a Las Vegas headliner. With money and attention so scarce now, effective communication skills have never been more important, especially if you're looking for work. So choose every single word as though it was the last word the person you're speaking to will hear. Otherwise, it might be. Avoid redundancies such as added bonus, advance warning, end result, prior history, or personal belongings. And avoid cliches like the plague. Just kidding. For more tips, hit survivalspeech.com. I'm Holland Cook.
If you enjoy LRN.FM, please contribute to your favorite shows via their websites and become an amplifier at amp.lrn.fm. That's amp.lrn.fm.
This is Free Talk Live. You can bring up anything you want. You can join us toll free here. The number 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. With you tonight, you've got Ian.
And Daryl.
We've got Skype. The Skype username is LRN.FM, so feel free to reach out to us that way. We've been discussing the new thing. Hopefully it doesn't turn into a trend. But knowing the way the government works, it probably will. That is blowing up suspects, criminal suspects, with a bomb delivery robot. That's what happened in Dallas late last week after several police officers were shot, some shot to death, by what is suspected to be more than one person. But at least one of the suspects was blown up, and he was killed.
Yes.
By a bomb-delivering robot piloted by the Dallas Police Department. And the experts here, according to motherboard.vice.com, expert folks including Jay Stanley from The American Civil Liberties Union are saying that when domestic law enforcement officers can use force from a distance, it might become too easy for them to do so, and the inevitable result will be these weapons are overused, as when officers are not physically present, their perception of a situation and their judgment about when to apply force is more likely to be flawed. Non-targets are more likely to be injured, and excessive amounts of force are more likely to be applied. And I would add to that statement, and the officers involved in doing all of those things, hurting more non-targets, meaning innocent people,
right?
And using excessive force, none of them will be held responsible for it. Of course
not.
They'll all be found completely legitimate in their use of that force because, well, they were afraid. So, got to use the bomb robot.
And even if they are ever convicted of, some sort of civil rights violation, they never wind up being held responsible for whatever monetary compensation goes to the victim or the family of the victim, because there's all sorts of immunities for them. And the arguments that I've heard before is, well, if police officers know that they can be personally responsible and personally liable when they do wrong, then nobody will ever be a police officer. Well, let me tell you something. If somebody's a private security guard and they wind up screwing up and violating somebody's rights or liberty or something, they get held personally responsible.
Oh, yeah.
And there's a lot of people that are security guards.
Let's go to the phones. Paul's on the line. He's in Fort Mojave, Arizona, listening to K-Talks. Paul, you're on Free Talk Live with Ian and Daryl.
Hello, Ian. Hello, guys.
Hey, Paul.
I think there's another alternative to the robot, and I think that's probably the only other thing they could have done is you send in Sarah from Materville and or my ex-wife and let them start their BITCH, and you would have only heard one gunshot. It would have been him doing himself.
Thanks for the call, Paul. I appreciate hearing from you tonight. Toll-free number 855-450-FREE.
I think that would be considered torture, and torture is illegal.
855-450-3733. Let's go to Kylan. He's in Guam, listening via TuneIn. Hello, Kylan. What time is it out there in Guam right now? It's about early morning, right?
9:36 a.m.
All right. You're waking up with Free Talk Live. Go ahead,
yep.
Kyle.
I think it was last night you guys were talking about technology and it taking over our lives possibly and things like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and if you haven't noticed, I was surprised the show hadn't talked about it yet, but Pokemon Go was released just this past week, and it has taken over people's lives already.
All right, so we have not talked about this yet. Daryl, how familiar are you with Pokemon?
I'm aware that Pokemon was a thing back in the late 90s, early aughts, and I know that there's this cell phone app that it's Schrodinger's cell phone game, apparently, because the servers are both being overloaded because too many people are playing and nobody can sign up. And I don't know how those two things exist at the exact same time. But other than that, all I know is that there was a woman in Wyoming that was playing Pokemon Go and she found a dead body in a river.
Yeah. Okay. That's
unusual. Apparently police are now issuing warnings of, hey, if you're playing Pokemon Go and you're walking around staring at your phone, be aware that cars are still whizzing by on the roads near you.
Yeah, I guess somebody caused an accident apparently on some roadway, some highway somewhere, trying to capture some sort of Pokemon. So the reason I actually had a story here in show prep tonight that I found via Brian Sovereign at Sovereign Tech entitled Pokemon Go is a Government Surveillance PSYOP Conspiracy. And it's pretty interesting.
I did hear that, I forget if it was a recent episode of Sovereign Tech or Sex and Science Hour, both shows that Brian Sovereign either host or co-host.
Yep.
And they were talking about this Pokemon Go thing, and apparently it's built on top of the Ingress platform.
Correct.
And
That's
Ingress is a game that you have played.
I have played that. The Ingress game apparently doesn't require people to take pictures. Apparently in Pokemon Go, now I speak from not even knowing anything about the game, so maybe, Kylan, you know a thing or two about it. But it's my understanding from reading the story that you have to take pictures of the Pokemon, And so what they're doing is, I'm paraphrasing this very interesting article, which I don't know if we're going to get to tonight or not. But essentially, people are taking photos inside buildings so that, let's say Google, for instance, can't obviously drive their Google truck through buildings and find out, the exact layout of buildings. So people are actually taking pictures inside of buildings because they're trying to capture the Pokemon. And those pictures are accessible by Google's servers and accessible, of course, therefore, by police departments as well. If they have the proper paperwork or whatever, Google will hand it over, or maybe they'll just ask nicely and Google will hand it over. But what they point out, though, is that the phones that you have, these smartphones, have the gyroscopes or whatever in it, compasses that they know exactly which direction you're pointing. So when you take a picture, if you're in your living room and there's a Pokemon over there in the corner and you take a picture at that wall, Google will know that is that wall, and so they could, with enough data,
they can
build inside maps of homes and things like that. That's the suggestion here. Kylan, what are your thoughts? Have you played the game?
Yeah, I've been playing since it came out for Guam area. We got it maybe about 5 days ago, but you don't have to take the picture, but it kind of uses like an augmented reality kind of setting.
Yeah.
Right at the beginning, but you can switch it off. But you know as well as I do that just because you switch off allegedly the camera, it doesn't mean that the camera turns off.
Now, what is the point of taking the picture? Do you have to capture the soul of the Pokemon to get bonus points?
No, you don't have to take a picture or anything.
But is it? It sounded to me that you can take pictures in the app. Is that not the case?
You can. Yeah.
What is the point of the picture in the game? What is the goal of photographing it? Is there a bonus point that you get for having a picture? Is there some sort of incentive?
No, it's kind of like what every kid that got addicted to Pokemon, like me, when you were a kid, you're always thinking like, man, if only it were real life, and now you have a picture of it in real life in a way.
So it's an option. It's not a requirement in the game. There's not a bonus point. It's just hey, if you want to take a picture of this Pokemon
not that I noticed,
sitting on your couch or back in the backyard.
With the augmented reality function, it's actually kind of more difficult to capture the Pokemon. So I turn it off, and then but people kind of use it to make kind of funny pictures, like they put the Pokemon on a friend's head or something like that.
I see.
But that's about it.
So what do you think? I mean, you're obviously hooked, right? You're playing this thing every single day?
Well, just like any addict, I can say I can quit whenever I want. But, it is pretty fun.
No, you can't. You got to catch them all.
I'm not going to lie. Yeah, and the fun thing, yeah, exactly. And the fun thing is that it splits you into 3 teams. So now, like, the gyms are like...
All right, I want to know more about it. Hold on. I want to know more about the app. Stand by. Now, you mentioned Ingress, Daryl. I've played some Ingress. It's kind of cool, but it is something that they did build before they built this. And the article actually goes into what the company did prior to being acquired by Google, and it's got kind of a history with the government involved.
Of course.
The toll-free number, 855-450-FREE. It's Free Talk Live.
People who can afford a LASIK procedure sure are lucky. Imagine being able to throw away your contacts and glasses. Imagine waking up tomorrow with 20/20 vision. Too bad everyone can't afford LASIK. Well, guess what? There's a company that agrees with you. TLC Laser Eye Centers is now offering great prices on high-quality LASIK to make it affordable for everyone. That means you get the latest FDA-approved all-laser LASIK technology for less than what others charge. And if you call right now, we'll schedule a free appointment so you can discover if LASIK is right for you. Results may vary. Call 1-800-930-9765. Even better, if you're one of the first 100 callers, ask about an extra $400 off your all-laser LASIK procedure. That's $200 off per eye. We've already performed over 2 million procedures. Let us help you. Discover how you can get the quality LASIK experience you deserve for less than what others charge. For your free appointment, call 1-800-930-9765. 1-800-930-9765.
Welcome to Staples.
Staples guy, I need to get a grip on my company's spending.
Staples has low prices every day.
So I won't overspend?
Nope. With our price match guarantee, you can always get the lowest price on everything for your office.
Everything?
Everything.
The lowest prices on ink, paper, coffee, ink, folders, notepads, ink, sticky notes, ink, trash pads, ink, binders, and ink?
Need some ink?
A little bit, yeah.
Trust Staples for low prices every day. Staples. Make more happen.
Price match good at checkout for items from retailers operating online in retail stores or products sold and shipped by Amazon. See store or staples.com for details.
Napa know-how. Cold weather slows your battery down. But if it's hot enough to cook breakfast on your hood, your battery could be toast. So pick up a Napa Legend battery today, and you'll get a $15 rebate Visa card by mail. That's $15 back and a new battery. In case your old one gets fried. That's Napa know-how. At participating Napa Auto Parts stores. Some exclusions apply. Offer expires 7/31/16.
Free Talk Live.
Our education system is frankly government-run, government-funded, and we're dumbed down.
You could go down the laundry list of the different things that people would admit that the government did wrong or botched up or cost way too much, and it still doesn't have any effect on them. They still just bounce right back and say, well, we need government to do all these things. Well, yes, they make some mistakes. Yes, they spend billions of dollars too much. Sure, they kill innocent people around the world, but we need them.
We have to have them do these things.
I find it quite amazing that, they say the first thing they seem to do is, turn to government. They've got the solution somehow.
Yep.
Goodness knows they
That's
haven't.
what they've been programmed to do by the government schools.
Exactly. Brainwashed, absolutely brainwashed, and they're so dumb about it, they believe it's the case. However, you then ask the next question, if you dare to, is you say, would you trust any politicians? And the first answer is no way.
Right.
Free Talk Live, 7 nights a week from 7 to 10 Eastern, live on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
The three most important things you can do for Free Talk Live are: 1, share one episode a week on Facebook or in some other social networking site. 2, buy the things you buy online through shop.freetalklive.com. 3, give $5 a month to the AMP program. You likely buy all kinds of things online. Amazon is the largest online retailer. You can get what you need at the same prices with free Super Saver shipping by going to shop.freetalklive.com. Please do your online shopping at shop.freetalklive.com.
So you've signed the Shire Society Declaration and are planning your move to New Hampshire to be around more liberty-oriented people. Next, sign up for the Shire Society Forum at forum.shiresociety.com. There are a bunch of people there who are already in the Shire, and they want to meet you. If you're already in the Shire physically, you should also come by the forums. Remember, not everyone uses Facebook. New people are signing up for the Shire Society Forum every month, so drop in and say hello at forum.shiresociety.com.
You can put the Liberty Radio Network on the air in your area. Visit broadcast.lrn.fm to learn how. Broadcast.lrn.fm.
This is Free Talk Live, and you can bring up anything you want. The toll-free number is 855-450-FREE. Pokemon Go is apparently capturing the minds of many Americans and people around the globe. I'm not sure how many countries it's available in at this point, but apparently it's been rolled out in the United States and has been a hugely popular download within just the last several days. And some people are already concerned about the level of access that the app has to your phone's functions. You know, when you install apps, I presume iPhones are similar, but at the very least on the Android system, it'll tell you, oh, this app wants access to this, your camera, your contacts, goes down the list. Apparently Pokemon Go is pretty invasive.
It's like, we want access to everything on your phone.
Yeah, we'll give you.
We want to record your telephone conversation. I don't know if it wants to record the telephone conversations, but I saw a list, and it's like every function that the phone makes, it wants access to.
Hopefully, it doesn't get access to some Bitcoin wallet that's got weak security. Jax.io is out there, and they allow you to store your Bitcoin, your your Ether, as well as your DAO tokens. And I've never encountered a wallet quite like it. It's very, very nice, very smooth, and easy to back up and recover your funds if need be. Jaxx's ultimate aim is to build you a digital command center for your life, giving you control over coins, currencies, contracts, identity, and more. It's control in the palm of your hand. Jaxx.io. That's JAXX.io. You can grab it, of course, over at the App Store on Google or Apple. And all their data is stored client-side. So the Jaxx, the company that makes Jaxx, does not have access to your private keys that would give them access to your Bitcoin. So you get that information that's stored on your phone. Jaxx.io, JAXX.io. As we go back to Kylan, he's out in Guam. It's bright and early in the morning out there, and he's getting ready for another exciting day of catching Pokemon. You're hooked. You're addicted to Pokemon Go. How many hours do you think you've logged in the last week? When did it? You said 5 days ago is when they launched?
Yeah, about 5 days ago. The problem with how many hours logged is because you'll walk around, but then the servers are touchy, so they'll kick you out.
Ooh.
But pretty about half the day, I'd say. I'm on vacation right now though, so I have an excuse.
So hold on, when you say half the day, do you mean half of the waking day or half of the entire 24-hour day?
I'd say half of the waking day for me, but
okay.
I'm on a group chat with some of the people on my team, and they're still going till about 3 a.m.
Oh wow!
So I mean, yeah, they're the addicts, not me.
So tell me about this game. I've seen people out on the streets, and I suspect they're playing Pokemon Go. There are these clustered groups of young people clustering around phones. And, it's just obviously complete speculation on my part, but that's what I've heard, is that there's a lot of people out there playing. It's Renee, my girlfriend, went out to the park just the other night and saw multiple groups of people her age range out there doing it. On the positive side, this is getting people out and moving around, right? The big claim about electronic games by some people who don't like them is, well, it's keeping kids inside. Well, this is getting young people outside, right?
Oh, yeah. Someone put that, this has done more for childhood obesity than Michelle Obama's done in 8 years.
So is there a benefit to actually walking rather than, let's say, getting into a car and driving places? Do you get more? Do you get to capture more that way?
You can't. There's a certain dynamic in the game where it gives you eggs, and the eggs take time to hatch, or it takes a walking distance to hatch.
Mm-hmm.
Some are 2 kilometer, 5 kilometer, and 10 kilometers. So if you drive, I guess there's a speed limit. So if you go over that limit, it doesn't count that distance traveled. So, it seems like they're doing a good job at making people get out. It made me run about 2 miles last night just to hatch an egg.
You had to run?
Yeah. I went jogging. I thought, hey, might as well get in shape. And so, there's another thing that happens. It's called a Pokestop. So certain areas are kind of where you need to go to kind of capture Pokemon. They're more likely to.
Mm-hmm.
So people kind of gather around those areas more likely. You'll find out pretty quick which ones are Pokestop.
Now,
so I just decided to kind of make
the game Ingress that came before Pokemon Go, that was made by the same company, Niantic Labs. It was a team-based game. You mentioned there were 3 teams in Pokemon. In Ingress, there are 2.
Yeah. In Ingress, I played Ingress for maybe a week, so I kind of understood the same. So it portals, I think, that they used there?
Yeah, in Ingress, right? The goal of the game was to capture portals. It was sort of like a large game, a global game of capture the flag with 2 teams. That blue and green, and so you capture this portal. You can put up weapons to defend it, and then when the other team comes along, they have to destroy those things. Thing is, though, you never actually saw the other team on the map. They were just there, but sort of silent. You couldn't actually see where the other players were. Is there any kind of indicator of where other players are in this game? Did we lose Kylan in Guam? I think we might have lost Kylan in Guam. Perhaps he's in a bad cell. He dropped off the line. But I do have a story here.
Maybe he found a Pokemon and had to get off the phone to capture the Pokemon.
Could very well be. This thing's blowing up. And the story here from Gawker.com, Pokemon
It might be blowing up, but not the same kind of blowing up as what the Dallas police did.
Yeah, exactly. This is a more peaceful version of blowing up, but there are some serious privacy concerns here. Less than a week after Pokemon Go's launch, our streets are already filled with packs of phone-wielding, Weedle-catching zombies. They're robbing our teens, filling our churches with sinners, and tricking our children into exercising. But worst of all, Pokemon Go is turning us all into an army of narcs in service of the coming New World Order. Lots of apps have sketchy privacy policies. That's nothing new. But the first set of alarms should go off as soon as you realize that Pokemon Go's policy does seem a bit more liberal than most. Because not only are you giving Pokemon Go access to your location and camera, you're also giving it full access to your Google account, assuming you use that to sign in. Now, apparently you can create a Pokemon Go account, as I understand it.
Okay.
So privacy advocates are recommending that people not use their Google account for this login purpose.
Yeah.
There's one section of the privacy policy in particular that seems to be getting the conspiracy theorists of the world up in arms, which Reddit user Homer Simpson Doe calls, quote, very Orwellian. They then give you the quote from the policy. Quote, we may disclose any information about you or your authorized child that is in our possession or control to government or law enforcement officials or private parties. But that's not an unquote. That's not an uncommon thing from terms of service. Most of the time that I've seen, at least, companies will absolutely say, yes, we will cooperate with law enforcement if they request it. That's very common in terms of service. As TechCrunch explained, Pokemon-loving millennials are far less likely to object to a few extra permissions when it's Squirtle staring them in the face as they abandon their every God-given freedom.
What's a Squirtle?
It's one of the characters in the game.
Ah, okay.
Every God-given freedom that they do when Google reads their email. And it's not like Pokemon Go itself doesn't already have a direct line to the CIA, or direct-ish, they say, line to the CIA. After all, Pokemon Go was created by Niantic, which was formed by John Hanke. Now, Hanke also just so happened to help found Keyhole. What does Keyhole do, you ask? I'd tell you to go to Keyhole's website, but you can't. It just takes you straight to Google Earth. That's because Keyhole was acquired by Google back in 2004. Before that, however, Keyhole received funding from a firm called In-Q-Tel, a government-controlled venture capital firm that invests in companies that will help beef up Big Brother's tool belt. What's more, the funds that In-Q-Tel gave Keyhole mostly came from the National Geospatial Intelligence Agency. You ever heard of them?
The National
Geospatial Intelligence Agency, the NGA.
I have not.
Neither have I, but they're real. NGA.mil is their website.
Military.
Which means it's military. Their primary mission is, quote, collecting, analyzing, and distributing geospatial intelligence, unquote. Still unsure if Pokemon Go's creator is a government spook? Check out this excerpt from a magazine, Pathfinder magazine. Quote, companies obtain customer information through avenues such as social media, mobile apps, and customer relationship management software, unquote. They might as well be talking about Pokemon Go itself. So what exactly is the New World Order planning to do with our precious and meticulously collected data? They could take a few different paths, though they all boil down to the fact that we're all cogs in Professor Willow's great big government machine. Considering that one of Big Brother's favorite pastimes is watching its citizens at all times and always and forever, Pokemon Go is an ideal vessel for its many, many eyes. It's addicting. Kids, adults, and conspiracy-loving bloggers for Gawker.com can't seem to put the thing down for more than 10 minutes at a time. It has access to pretty much our entire phone, meaning tons of personal data and monster tracking capabilities. And there's more here about exactly what they're capturing, or what they could capture, through your phone.
All the Pokemon.
Yeah, Pokemon Go. 855-450 free. Are you hooked? You want to talk about it? Your addiction? Is it a good thing? This is Free Talk Live, hour number 2 on the way.
Adam Kokesh has agreed to meet Bernie Sanders in any city in America on any day between now and the end of the year for a friendly debate on socialism versus voluntarism, in which Bernie can choose an objective moderator. To sweeten the deal, Roger Ver, a.k.a. Bitcoin Jesus, has offered that upon completion of a 3-hour debate in which both men have equal time, he will donate a total of $100,000 worth of Bitcoin to the charity of each man's choice, $50,000 apiece. Learn more at bernie.freetalklive.com.
Are you searching for your soulmate? Someone you can trust, who will never betray you or cooperate with the NSA? Stop searching. With EasyDNS, you found a keeper. EasyDNS does it all. Domain names, web hosting, and managed WordPress hosting. EasyDNS stands up for your internet freedom, and with servers in Canada, they do not cooperate with the NSA. Go to EasyDNS.com. You'll love their services or get a full refund. They guarantee it. And they accept Bitcoin. That's EasyDNS.com.
The new 4th edition of Healing Our World, The Compassion of Libertarianism, will take your understanding of liberty to a deeper level and has over 1,300 updated references, new cartoons, and a foreword by Dr. Ron Paul. With discounts for multiple book purchases, the 4th edition of Healing Our World is a great gift for the liberals, pragmatists, environmentalists, and Christians in your life who think libertarianism is cold-hearted. Get yours today at healing.freetalklive.com and use promo code FTL for a $5 discount. If you want to know the latest about Free Talk Live before we go on the air, all you need to decide is how you want it delivered. It's your choice. Visit news.freetalklive.com. You can get emailed announcements and participate in contests via our email updates list. Plus, we have a Twitter account that you can follow and a Facebook page where you can become a fan. So visit news.freetalklive.com to get news about Free Talk Live as soon as it's announced and the way you want it delivered at news.freetalklive.com. That's news.freetalklive.com.
You're listening to the live edition of Free Talk Live. Hour number 2 is next after the news here on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
From Keene in the Shire, the Liberty Media capital of the world, this is Daryl W. Perry, host of FPP Radio News for Monday, July 11th, 2016. Silver is trading at $20.26 per ounce. Gold is valued at $1,355 per ounce. And according to BitcoinAverage.com, the average price of Bitcoin is $650. Antiwar.com reports Syria's military announced over the weekend a 72-hour extension of the nationwide ceasefire which they declared for Eid al-Fitr. The ceasefire never really took hold in the first place, and so far the signs are that the continuation isn't accomplishing much either. Though there were a few parts of the country that saw a relative calm during the Eid al-Fitr celebrations, the overall level of violence was said to be largely unchanged. On Sunday, the fighting largely centered on Aleppo, where al-Qaeda rebels are fighting with the military over areas around the key supply road. Although the military had initially presented the ceasefire as all-encompassing and nationwide, it appears to have excluded al-Qaeda and the Islamic State, albeit not explicitly so, as Syria and its allies have continued targeting both throughout and publicly affirmed such incidents. Though the Eid ceasefire was seen as an effort at being conciliatory during the important Muslim holiday, it isn't clear why there is an extension, as it doesn't appear that most rebel factions plan to abide by it anyhow. The Free Syrian Army had accepted the initial ceasefire but has yet to comment on the extension. Are you an advocate for free market money? Do you promote Bitcoin as an alternative in a fiat-centric world? Then you need Spendabit in your arsenal, the search engine for things you can buy with Bitcoin. Spendabit aggregates millions of products from thousands of Bitcoin-enabled merchants. Keep your money in the free economy. Visit spendabit.co today. Bitcoin merchants, ask about our merchant suite to reach even more customers. Spendabit.co. UPI reports the British government rejected an online petition signed by more than 4.1 million people seeking a second referendum on the country leaving the European Union. The Foreign Office said the referendum was a once-in-a-generation vote and the decision must be respected. The referendum to leave the European Union, known as Brexit, was supported by 52% of voters on June 23rd. The petition said, "We, the undersigned, call upon Her Majesty's government to implement a rule that if the remain or leave vote is less than 60% based on a turnout of less than 75%, there should be another referendum." The referendum turnout was 72.2% according to the Electoral Commission. Parliament must consider all petitions that receive over 100,000 signatures. The petition committee was verifying signatures and had already thrown out 77,000 fraudulent ones. For nearly 40 years, Roberts & Roberts Brokerage has been a trusted source for buying and selling precious metals like gold and silver. They also take Bitcoin for precious metal purchases and have permanently removed the minimum purchase amount for all orders paid in the digital currency. Call Roberts & Roberts today for knowledgeable advice on buying and selling precious metals and a forward-thinking approach to new technologies. 800-874-9760 or visit online at rrbi.co. Reuters reports 3 countries have warned their citizens to stay on guard when visiting U.S. cities rocked by sometimes violent protests that erupted after a string of police shootings. The United States regularly issues travel warnings urging Americans to either avoid or exercise caution in countries marred by violence or police instability. Now the United States is the focus of concern by foreign governments in the Middle East and Caribbean as protesters marched in U.S. cities throughout the weekend after police killed black men in Louisiana and Minnesota last week. The protests have led to numerous arrests, scuffles, and injuries and confrontations between police and demonstrators. The United States was also tense after a lone gunman on Thursday shot dead 5 police officers during a protest in Dallas. The U.S. Embassy in Bahrain, a tiny Middle Eastern island nation, on Saturday urged citizens via Twitter to be cautious of protests in crowded areas occurring around the U.S. The Bahamas, a Caribbean nation with a majority black population, on Friday warned its people to be careful when visiting U.S. cities rocked by shootings of young black males by police officers. The Bahamian Foreign Ministry said in a travel advisory, in particular, young males are asked to exercise extreme caution in affected cities and the interactions with police. Do not be confrontational and cooperate. The United Arab Emirates urged its students and other citizens in the United States to also be careful, using similar language that the U.S. State Department employs when warning Americans about countries that have fallen victims to attacks by extremists. This has been FPP Radio News, online at fppradio.com.
After excitedly posting an image of a Lamborghini Rebenton to his Facebook account earlier this afternoon, 38-year-old little boy Nick Weber talked to Onion reporters about his passion for fast cars.
When I saw that car, I was like, whoa, it was so cool. I had to show it to all my friends. I like red cars the best, but only ones that are really, really fast. I can't wait to get one when I'm older. I'm going to get the fastest car in the whole world.
Though Weber also frequently posts about his other interests, which include motorcycles, fighter jets, and Marvel superhero Iron Man, the nearly 40-year-old small child confirmed that sports cars are his favorite, and the picture of the bright yellow Lamborghini has already garnered 15 likes and 9 comments from other enthused middle-aged children who are friends with Weber on the social networking site.
My best friend Bradley, he sent me a picture of a blue convertible that's so awesome. It has these big wheels and even has a racing stripe on it.
After watching several online videos of fast cars and eating a peanut butter and jelly sandwich for lunch, the home-owning little tyke went to his room to take a nap.
This is the Onion News Network.
Free Talk Live.
It's Free Talk Live. Bring up whatever you want right here till free. 855-450-FREE. 855-450-3733. Maybe you're out and about playing Pokemon Go as you're listening to the show here tonight, perhaps via live stream or maybe later on via podcast. There's a lot of news surrounding Pokemon Go, what some of the players are doing, from discovering dead bodies to causing traffic snarls, to the idea that maybe there's some government involved in the creation of Pokemon Go. Is it possible that the creators, Niantic Labs, a spin-off company from Google, which was originally Keyhole, that was acquired by Google back in 2004, the founder of Keyhole, or one of the heads of Keyhole, was apparently involved with a government-funded project.
I would not say that the government's involved in the creation of Pokemon Go, but they're definitely willing to take any of the information that people are willing to hand over to Google while they play Pokemon Go.
Right, and the game does allow you to log in with your Google account, and then it has full access, apparently, to anything on that Google account. The executive with Niantic Labs, John Hanke, previously had worked with In-Q-Tel, which was a firm that, he worked with Keyhole, and Keyhole was funded via In-Q-Tel, which is a government-controlled venture capital firm. And where do the funds from In-Q-Tel come from? Well, from the National Geospatial Intelligence Agency, a military agency, the NGA, whose primary mission is collecting, analyzing, and distributing geospatial intelligence. Now, there's no reason why the NSA or the CIA or the FBI wouldn't have access to that collected intelligence that organization has been doing for who knows how long. Considering one of Big Brother's favorite pastimes is watching its citizens at all times, always and forever, this story from Gawker.com. Pokemon Go is an ideal vessel for its many, many eyes. They say it's addicting, and it has access to pretty much our entire phone. Granted, Pokemon Go is a perfectly legitimate reason to access things like your location and camera. It needs the former to put you on the right map, and the latter to make use of its augmented reality feature. And look, the fact is, if the government wants to know where your phone is, they can just subpoena the phone company, and they'll give them live data about where your phone is.
Right.
So using the mapping feature or the GPS feature of Pokemon Go probably isn't going to reveal to the government, at least, or to Google, anything unusual about you. There's even a feature that Google has where you can go on their website and look at your path with your phone. I don't know where you go, but I have gone to do it. I just don't know where to tell you to look. It was a link that I saw in a news story. It was like, oh, here, click this link, and you can see what Google's information was they collected about where you've gone in the last, however many days or weeks or months. And sure enough, there was the path that I walked Jazzy the studio dog the other night. So they absolutely have that data, and they are absolutely storing that data, which they can use to build user patterns, know when you go shopping, know when you go to school, know when, all kinds of data about you. And all of that is easily obtained by government agencies. So that part doesn't really freak me out. But some people are concerned about the augmented reality feature. With the allowances given by your phone, Pokemon Go, or rather its parent company Niantic, not only knows where millions of people are at any given point, they could also very well figure out who they're with, what's going on around them, and where they're likely headed next. Remember, it doesn't take that much to hunt someone down. All it took was one absent-minded tweet for Vice to accidentally reveal the location of former fugitive and bath salts enthusiast John McAfee. As Reddit user Fight for Anything explains, quote, obviously intelligence agencies have gained a lot of info from Google Maps and its Street View, but this data was collected easily with driving cars. Intel agencies may see Google Maps and Street View as just an outline or a skeleton of the whole picture. Getting more data, particularly that off the street and inside of buildings, requires tons of man-hours and footwork. It's a logistical nightmare. So with Google's Street View, they actually have Google-hired vans with Google-supplied equipment on the tops of these vans. We've seen it around here.
It's generally a smart car.
Okay.
What I'm seeing, it's always something about the size of a smart car with a bunch of cameras on it. I'm actually on the Google Street View thing.
Oh, did they blur your face out?
They blurred out the face, but I'm waving at it, and I'm wearing an I Accept Bitcoin t-shirt.
And where are you?
On Route 101 in Keene, outside of what is now the 101 Local Goods.
Oh, interesting.
Owned and operated by our Thursday co-host, Chris.
Did you happen to notice, did you know they were coming?
I saw them.
Yeah.
And so, we were outside doing something, and I saw them coming over the bridge. And so I just started waving my arms. And Chris and Colleen are like, what's wrong with Daryl? And then they saw the Google car drive by.
Toll-free number tonight, 855-450-FREE. So it says here, enter Pokemon Go, where if you're an intelligence agency and you want photos of the inside of a home or business, you just spawn desirable Pokemon or related objects there and let totally unaware and distracted citizens take the photos for you.
Hold on, how do you spawn a Pokemon?
Well, I don't know. If you're the NSA, presumably you'd have the ability to do that.
Oh, they're saying the NSA spawns it, not just, I wonder what my next-door neighbor's house looks like.
No, I don't.
Spawn a Pokemon.
I don't think the users can do that, but we don't really have the detail about exactly how the
I
game
did
works.
find the thing on the Google website where you can look if you don't have location history turned off, which I do for all of my Google accounts. I have location history turned off.
And it doesn't show?
And it doesn't show anything because my location history is turned off.
Huh. That's a surprise to me.
That's not the default. You have to go into the settings and turn it off.
Yeah, I'm surprised that, well, first of all, that doesn't mean they're not collecting the information. That just means that they're not showing you the information. They may still have the information.
They might have it, but they're allegedly not storing it.
Okay.
So they might be able to know where I am right now, but in 5 days, they won't know where I was on Monday.
Well, that's what they want you to believe. I mean, maybe they're telling you the truth. Maybe they're not.
Now you're starting to sound like Conan.
So, so they could just spawn the desirable Pokemon there in whatever building they want to get photos of and let the users of the app take the pictures for them with devices they paid for, and those citizens pay for the experience, which is one of the questions I was going to ask when we had one of the players on the line. Is Pokemon Go an app that you have to pay for? Is this a hugely popular paid game? Because I've heard this is the most downloaded game of all time.
It might be one of those freemium sort of things to where it's free to download, but if you want to win the game, then you've got to pay.
Or you can capture more Pokemon or something like that. Imagine all these photos going back into some database with the augmented Pokemon removed, obviously. All these photos are probably GPS tagged, as well as having the phone's internal gyro embed XYZ orientation of the camera angle in the phone. These photos could be put together much like Google Street View. So as you're catching them all, says Gawker's blogger, with all the other sheep, you could be very well creating a cache of high-res, data-rich images to get siphoned directly into the CIA's greedy little pockets. Just picture it, a year from now, when Trump-appointed CIA Director Liam Neeson is trying to figure out who helped the Washington Post reporters escape from prison. All he has to do is call over to Deputy Director Sutherland. Check the Pokedex, he'll say, and up springs a Google Street View-esque simulation of every building, nook, and closet within a 5-mile radius, all updated in real time. As user Fight for Anything explains, quote, what if the local church is a mosque they suspect of terrorist activity and they want photos of it, or photos of the cars around it and their plates, or photos of the people coming in and out? Meaning that should the director need eyes somewhere, all he has to do is tell the game to stick a Pikachu in the room, and some unassuming schlub will send him a photo in no time. Toll-free number tonight, 855-450-FREE. Is this a little bit too paranoid, or is it possible what they're talking about?
Just because something sounds like paranoia doesn't mean that it's not possible, if that makes any sense.
Well, there are suggestions for extra privacy for those of you who are insistent on playing the game, but also who want to protect yourself. One Reddit user has these safety tips. He says, just like Ingress, either use a spare phone or buy a cheap used one off of eBay. Set up your main phone with a VPN and turn on a Wi-Fi hotspot. Then play from your spare phone with a dummy Gmail account. It's a lot of work to go through to catch yourself some Pokemon, but if you want to protect your privacy, you usually have to take extra steps.
Or here's an idea: don't play Pokemon Go.
855-450-FREE. It's Free Talk Live.
This is a warning to all household pests, to all cockroaches, spiders, ants, rodents, and other pests. If you've just made yourself at home in someone else's home, you'd better hope the owners never hear about Terminix, because Terminix has the know-how and the means to do whatever it takes to remove you from that home. Terminix has over 85 years of experience exterminating invaders like you. And right now, they're making it easier than ever for homes to be protected by offering a free pest estimate to every caller at 1-800-689-2939. Cockroaches, spiders, ants, rodents, and other pests. This is your eviction notice. With one call, Terminix will remove you from the home you've invaded. If you think you can simply come back later, think again. Terminix will protect that home with a 100% satisfaction money-back guarantee, so you can never return. Warning, homeowners are calling Terminix right now for a free pest estimate at 1-800-689-2939. 1-800-689-2939.
Limitations apply. See plan for details.
To a professional trader in precious metals, the key is spot price. Spot price is market price, what gold or silver actually costs on the exchange. Regular people looking to invest never get spot price because resellers add fees for everything. Refining, minting, brokerage costs, commissions. The public is never offered spot price until now. In a limited new customer outreach, JM Bullion offers you the chance to own a 10-ounce bar of pure silver at spot price. No fees, commissions, markups, not even a shipping cost. Now, through JM Bullion, own the most real investment of all at real cost. Not a piece of paper from Wall Street or a bank. A 10-ounce bar of silver at spot price. That's a solid investment. But you must act now. Go online to realpricesilver.com for this limited time offer. That's realpricesilver.com. realpricesilver.com. Limit one offer per household. 50 United States only.
Hi, I'm Derek J.
To me, an activist's calling is to actively work to advance a cause. The cause for which I work is personal freedom. I believe my life is best when I engage in voluntary interactions and self-government. I reject the idea that anyone else has a higher claim to my life or my body than I do. I see people who call themselves the government as a threat to my personal freedom. I realize you may feel differently, but my relationship with the people who call themselves the government is completely involuntary. If Starbucks used some of its money to drop bombs, I wouldn't shop there. So why would I support the American empire? The empire does not require my consent.
Derek J's Victimless Crime Spree. Watch it for free and order the Director's Cut DVD at victimlesscrimespree.com. That's victimlesscrimespree.com.
Here's a chance to do a little activism while you're cruising Facebook, Twitter, or Google+. Between the LOL cats, the recipes, the hot girls, and the inspirational sunrise memes, Free Talk Live's posts pass by your newsfeed. Like them, comment. It gives us more exposure. If you don't see our posts, click like at facebook.freetalklive.com and then hover over it to click Get Notifications. It's an easy way to spread the ideas of liberty a bit further. I know you're busy, but you can spare that 1/10 of a calorie it takes to click on something. Facebook.freetalklive.com.
Cell 411 is a free app for Android and iOS that replaces government-controlled 911. Cell 411 allows you to preset a group of friends or private organizations to show up at any emergency. Cell 411 is a nightmare for the state because it proves their so-called services aren't needed. Cell 411 has had thousands of installs, and of course it's covered by the BIPCOT no government license. Cell 411 because your friends won't shoot you when you're in trouble. Without the government, who would build the emergency services? You and Cell 411. Get it today at getcell411.com.
You can connect with the Liberty Radio Network via our Facebook page at facebook.lrn.fm. That's facebook.lrn.fm.
This is Free Talk Live, and you can bring up anything you want here. The toll-free number, 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. Joining you in studio tonight, it's Ian.
And Daryl.
Well, if you are playing Pokemon Go or in other ways sucking up all manner of your data connection on your smartphone device, you might want to listen to LRN.FM and Free Talk Live in a way that won't use any data whatsoever. We've got the Free Talk Live listen line, the audio on demand line. It's brand new. We'll give you the phone number here in a moment. But what you do is you connect to this number. You can not only stream live LRN.FM's feed, which includes Free Talk Live and dozens of other great liberty-oriented shows, including your shows, Daryl, Peace, Love, Liberty Radio, as well as FPP Radio News, and more. Lots of great LRN shows are also now available on demand through this phone number, 641-793-9660. You only have to spend, if you will, your minutes, if you have minutes anymore. Most people have unlimited minutes, so you won't have to spend anything there. Otherwise, you're only looking at the battery time that it takes to connect your phone call. So you can listen to as much Free Talk Live or almost a dozen shows from LRN.FM are available on demand, including Flaming Freedom, Cop Block Radio, Freedom Fiends, Declare Your Independence, the No State Project, and more. Go ahead and call them up at 641-793-9660. You choose via the menu at the front. You change your mind later. You want to hit star. You just go right back to the menu and select a different show. 641-793-9660. It's super easy to use, and as long as your long distance costs you nothing, it's free to you. So we continue here. There's some discussion about Pokemon Go. It's a huge phenomenon. It's the first time we've talked about it on this program. A gentleman called in.
Yeah, we generally don't talk about cell phone games.
Well, there's never really been a cell phone game that has generated this kind of news coverage, at least that I can recall.
The only cell phone apps that I can recall that we've talked about are Bitcoin wallets and Cell 411.
Well, we've talked about Facebook. I hate the Facebook apps and refuse to install them on my phone. We've talked about the Facebook apps.
Okay, and I think of Facebook more as a website, not an app.
And we've certainly talked about privacy.
Have an app.
We've talked about privacy apps like Tor and Signal. These are apps that you can use to protect yourself, ostensibly, online. Telegram is not as encrypted as Signal, but we've talked about different sort of activist types of apps beyond just Cell 411 on this program. But this is a real phenomenon, it seems. I mean, you can see these people in the streets. I mean, it's obvious to some extent who they are. They're noticeable. They're playing this game, Pokemon Go. There are video games that go viral overnight. Story from the New York Times, causing people to coop themselves up in their homes and play for days. But the opposite has happened with Pokemon Go, a free smartphone game that has soared to the top of the download charts. It has sent people into streets and parks, onto beaches, and even out to sea in a kayak in the week since it was released. The game, in which players try to capture exotic monsters from Pokemon, the Japanese cartoon franchise, which I've never once played in my entire life.
Me either.
I guess I'm just too old for it, Daryl. You and I were you're a little older than me.
A couple years older than you.
I'm in my mid-30s. And I remember when I was in high school, I went to a gifted school which had grades like 4 through 12 in it in Florida. And so there were younger people in the school with me. So I was aware that Pokemon existed, but I didn't really know much about it.
I don't think I was aware that Pokemon existed until well after I was out of I don't even think Pokemon did exist until I was out of college.
I think it was around in the 1990s. I could be wrong about that.
Well, I graduated college in 98.
Okay, good point. So let me go on here from the story at the New York Times. The game in which the players try to capture the exotic Pokemon monsters from Pokemon, the Japanese cartoon franchise, uses a combination of ordinary technologies built into smartphones, including location tracking and cameras, to encourage people to visit public landmarks, seeking virtual loot and collectible characters that they try to nab.
So I'm curious here about, it says that they're sending people to landmarks and stuff like that. What was so special about somewhere out in the ocean at 3 o'clock in the morning that it said some guy went kayaking in the ocean?
Well, I mean, I guess somebody put a Pokemon out in the middle of the ocean or something.
Right.
Like that.
So, why? Just to see if somebody was dumb enough to go kayak in the ocean at 3 in the morning?
Some people like to kayak. It's not necessarily that it was a dumb thing for them to do.
At 3 o'clock in the morning, it's not the most intelligent thing because
Where did you get the 3 o'clock in the morning thing from?
Isn't that what you said?
No, it just says it sent people into streets and parks, onto beaches, and even out to sea in a kayak in the week since it was released.
Oh, okay. I thought I heard like wee hours of the morning.
No. The only thing here that I saw that has to do with the morning is that it went viral overnight.
Okay.
So not necessarily that someone was in a kayak in the middle of the ocean.
Okay. Yeah. Somehow what I heard was somebody went into the middle of the ocean and I'm at 3 o'clock in the morning, and I'm like, that's kind of a dumb thing.
I'm looking here at the kayakers' photos. They are not in the middle of the ocean. They are, I would say less than a mile away from land. I can see the buildings on the shoreline.
Okay.
So anyway, but this is, just to, I guess, answer your question a little bit further, I have not played Pokemon Go, but I did play Ingress, which was the predecessor, if you will, to this game. Frequently, the portal locations in Ingress were located on, like, monuments or, like, here in towns, in Keene, there's the town square where there are several little things that you can capture there. Or they'll be in front of like a store or some sort of notable place. But every now and then they're kind of out, not really too easy to get to in certain locations. There's certain places where they're not supposed to be, and I suspect Pokemon Go follows similar rules. So like they're not supposed to be outside of police stations, because what happened initially was that they were, I guess, and people were sitting outside of police stations trying to capture these portals, and the police would start to think that someone was being suspicious outside. And so it resulted in more than one police encounter with Ingress players. And I don't know how much of that has been happening with Pokemon Go, but I suspect some of it has.
I don't know, but I know that I did see something on Facebook where some restaurant owner, I'm guessing it's a restaurant, the sign said Pokemons can only be captured by paying customers.
Oh, interesting. So they were inside the business.
Apparently.
Boone Sheridan is a resident of Holyoke, Massachusetts. He's seen the activity firsthand. His home, converted gable-roof church that once attracted worshipers, had without his knowledge been designated a Pokemon gym, a place where players who reach level 5 in the game must go to train their Pokemon characters. In the last week, as the game became the most downloaded and top-grossing app, he has been wondering how to explain to neighbors all of the people who are now congregated on the sidewalk and pulling up at odd hours. I want to make sure I tell them, hey, I'm not a drug dealer, said Sheridan. I know there are people pulling up in front of the house all the time, but trust me, I have no say in this. living in an old church. He says, this is a tweet from Mr. Sheridan. He tweeted out, living in an old church means many things. Today it means my house is a Pokemon Go gym. This should be fascinating. On Sunday, San Francisco's parks and downtown were crawling with Pokemon Go players, while in Washington, the White House and the Pentagon have been designated official Pokemon gyms. A bar in Harrisonburg, Virginia, was offering a 10% discount to Pokemon Go players on a specific team, while a tea shop in Japantown in San Francisco offered a buy one tea, get one free deal to Pokemon Go players. This is huge, Daryl.
This is absolutely ridiculous and ludicrous, and
Why is it ridiculous and ludicrous? We'll find out what Daryl has to say about that here in moments. 855-450-FREE. Do you just hate fun, Daryl? Is that what this is about? This is Free Talk Live.
Worried about lead, fluoride, and other contaminants in your drinking water? Get a ProPure with the Pro 1G 2.0 cleanable reusable filter and remove up to 200 contaminants. Drink water the way nature meant it to be. Clean, crisp, and refreshing. See the complete line of ProPure products, including the new ProMax shower filter. There's a ProPure for you. Visit your authorized ProPure dealer for details or ProPureUSA.com. That's ProPureUSA.com.
So you've got to take a state construction license exam or certification. Can't decide on what books or what chapters to study? Discover right now how you can eliminate unnecessary books and wasted study time. At contractorexam.com, our study materials zero in on state-required test topics in an effective, multiple-choice format. So whether you're a plumber, electrician, general contractor, or other construction-related trade, contractorexam.com will help get you prepared. Visit us at www.contractorexam.com today.
Is spreading the message of liberty and peace around the globe worth 15 cents per day to you? As you may already know, in addition to our internet feed, LRN.FM broadcasts on free-to-air satellite across North and Central America, as well as sub-Saharan Africa. Last year, we did a fundraiser that successfully covered the costs of continuing our African channel. This year, we're hoping to raise enough to fund a new satellite signal that will cover Europe, North Africa, and much of the Middle East. You can donate as much or as little as you like via the Indiegogo campaign at fund.lrn.fm. And there are perks available like sitting in on your favorite LRN.FM show, exclusive shiny badges, or even naming a satellite channel. Please contribute now at fund.lrn.fm and help us continue our satellite broadcast to multiple continents. The fundraiser ends August 19th, so please visit fund.lrn.fm today, and thank you for your help. That's fund.lrn.fm.
This is your Roberts & Roberts Brokerage Daily Precious Metals Update. In early trading Monday, gold is $10 lower at $1,357 per ounce, and silver is even at $20.31 per ounce. Bitcoin is currently trading at $646 US. Roberts & Roberts Brokerage has been helping clients buying and selling precious metals for nearly 40 years. For more information, give us a call at 800-874-9760. or visit us online at rrbi.co.
So you've heard all 3 hours of the latest episode of Free Talk Live, and you're still hungry for liberty-oriented audio content? Did you know that we have another 24/7 audio stream at LRN.FM? The Liberty Radio Network airs the latest episodes of some of the best liberty-oriented podcasts on the internet around the clock. In addition to recorded content, you'll also hear live shows like Free Talk Live, originating from our Keene, New Hampshire studio. So listen anytime at LRN.FM. That's LRN.FM.
FoodForLiberty.com sells high-quality, storable foods from Numana. And right now, take advantage of our summer special. Purchase 2 family packs and we'll send you a Pro Pure Water Pitcher, a $70 value, free. This premium pitcher is ideal for use with just about any water source and removes more contaminants than other brands. And it comes with a filter that lasts up to 2 full years. Whether you need to be prepared in the event of an emergency, you're an outdoor sports enthusiast, Numana is known for high-quality, great-tasting, GMO-free, super nutritious food with no chemical preservatives. And with a 25-year shelf life, you can't beat the feeling of being food secure when you need it most. Go to FoodForLiberty.com right now for great-tasting, high-quality, storable foods from Numana. Buy 2 family packs and get the Pro Pure Water Pitcher free. It makes good sense to be prepared. Get it at FoodForLiberty.com.
While our satellite channel is free to listen to, it's not free for us. You can help us cover our satellite costs with the chip-in on the right side of the page at lrn.fm.
It is Free Talk Live. You can bring up whatever's on your mind. Join us here. The toll-free number, 855-450-FREE. Daryl, you said that the Pokemon Go fanaticism out there is ridiculous and ludicrous. We are sharing with you the story from the New York Times about how popular this app has become in just the last several days of its existence, being released to the public just last week. It's blown up. There are a lot of interesting stories here about businesses trying to incentivize Pokemon Go players to come into their locations.
Right. So you said that there's businesses that are giving discounts to people that have the Pokemon Go app, and there's some place that's offering a discount to players of a certain team, and that just... Yeah, I know. Okay, free market, you can do what you want in theory, but it just seems absolutely absurd to me that people are getting so involved in this stupid cell phone game.
Now, you don't know if it's stupid. You haven't actually played the game. I haven't passed judgment on the game here, by the way. I've just been talking about the technology behind it and how popular it is, trying to understand without having actually played it.
The whole concept... Basically, you had somebody create an app to where these 20 and 30-somethings can relive a game that they played when they were kids.
Well, I bet you kids are playing this game, too. I mean, this is probably very, very popular amongst not just generation millennial, but whatever the heck the next generation is going to be called.
Like, if they created an app to where, I could run around with my phone and jump up and hit my head on an imaginary block and get a coin, I wouldn't play the thing because, I don't need to play real-life Mario Brothers. I'm sorry.
They probably are going to have that. I'm actually surprised they haven't come out with that yet.
I just gave somebody an idea. That's fine. If you make $1 million, remember Daryl and throw me 10
LibertyLobby.xyz.
But, I wouldn't play. I don't need to, play some augmented reality version of a game that I played when I was a kid.
Well, apparently a lot of people do need to do that, or at least they want to, Daryl. And I don't know how many millions this thing has as far as downloads yet. I've yet to actually pull it up on the App Store. I also saw some story about how apparently there's an imposter app on the store that is a malware-infused version of it or something like that. So I guess you're supposed to be careful when you decide which of the Pokemon Go apps to download. Or maybe which website. I don't know if the bad or the naughty version of the app is in the actual app store, or if it's just something that people are downloading through a naughty website that it then installs malware on your phone.
Could be.
But do beware and make sure you're getting it through the authorized distributor, which I presume is either Nintendo or Niantic Labs. Again, I have not yet looked for it.
I just started typing in Poke, and it popped up, Pokemon Go?
Okay.
So let me click on it. I'm not going to download this stupid thing, but it says 5 million downloads.
You're probably just afraid, Daryl, that if you played the app that you'd like it.
No, I've not. Fun. I've never played that Ingress game.
Yeah.
I made a post on Facebook earlier that said I've never played Ingress, I've never played Pokemon, I've never played Pokemon Go, I've never played Skyrim, I've never played World of Warcraft.
All right.
I don't feel like I'm missing out.
Well, I'll tell you what. How about a nice lady comes to you, she's attracted to you, and she says, Daryl, would you go play Pokemon Go with me on a date?
As long as I don't have to download the damn thing to my phone.
You have to, because you got to play together on the same team.
No, see, I walk around with her, and she has her phone, and I'm not playing Pokemon Go on my phone.
All right, so Renee is shaking her head.
I'll go for a walk.
She's shaking
with an attractive woman.
What are you shaking your head about, Renee? I'm curious.
Daryl, you are being too judgy. Some of us want to be the very best that no one ever was.
I don't know what that means.
You guys haven't heard the Pokemon theme song?
I mean, I've heard it at some point.
I did not know that Pokemon had a theme song.
So wait, are you shaking your head because Daryl would not install a Pokemon Go app and play the game with an interested female partner, or were you shaking your head because the game isn't a multiplayer game? I was confused with what you were.
I don't even really get it yet. I have it on my phone, and I've been playing.
You put the app on your phone?
Fun. Yeah. Oh,
okay.
It's awesome.
So,
catching all the Pokemon.
And you saw this, and you are turning 19 very soon.
Mm-hmm.
So you're definitely in the age demographic. You grew up with Pokemon. Pokemon existed throughout your entire life.
Came out the year I was born.
Okay, so it did come out in the late 1990s, which is what I thought was the case. And so you found out about this game by what? Going downtown and seeing it being played by a bunch of people?
No, I had already heard about it, and I was seeing lots of posts on my news feed about how awesome it was, and a bunch of people being annoyed by it. So I was like, well, only one thing to do. Gotta download it and catch them all. Gotta catch them all.
But you can't really catch them all, right? Because you have to keep catching more than just all of them because there's a zillion of these things. Is there an end to this game? Because I know with Niantic's previous game, Ingress, the game does not end. It's just this unending, essentially, capture the flag game where one flag gets captured, the other one gets captured, and it just keeps going back and forth.
I only like playing games that have a point. And that there's an end to.
Is there a competitive aspect to this, Renee, or is it only cooperative in that you're cooperating with other people on your team, or is there some sort of fighting that goes on?
I haven't really figured it out yet. Okay. I'm not too sure. I just started. I'm only on level 3. I'm a casual
You're level 3,
noob.
though.
I'm a casual noob.
It doesn't. I guess it doesn't take long.
I've been catching tons of Pokemon.
Does it not take? How long does it take to get to level 3? How many?
I feel like it didn't take me that long.
How many Pokemon do you have to capture to get to level 3?
I couldn't tell you exactly how many I have right now, but I've got a few under my belt.
Let's go to the phones here. We've got Mark. He's on the line in Nevada listening to K-Talks. Mark, you're on Free Talk Live.
Oh, nice talking to you again.
Hey, Mark. Go ahead, sir.
Stupid game. How many lives are going to be lost on the highways playing this stupid game?
Who cares? Got to catch them all at whatever cost.
Have there been stories about people crashing cars because of this game? Because our caller earlier... Go ahead.
Creators. I mean, people are getting hooked on this now, and they're not going to pay attention. Same thing as texting,
Well, now, what the guy said earlier was that it wasn't good to be in a car because there's some sort of detector that can tell whether or not you're going above a certain speed and will, disable your ability to catch them all or something like that, or disable some sort of factor of the game. Is this something where you're worried that people are driving are going to be playing it, or that I believe there was a news story that someone who was playing it on foot ended up going out in the middle of a highway?
Fake.
Exactly.
Fake story. Fake story.
Gizmodo reports that's fake.
Interesting.
They do say that people have accidentally been getting exercise. There have been a couple of people that got robbed at gunpoint. But so far, nobody has actually caused a massive pileup on the freeway.
All right, so maybe it's a little bit too early to be concerned about that, but Mark, nonetheless, it is a legitimate concern, I think. Again, not having played the game, Renee, can you capture a Pokemon from inside a car? Do you know anyone who's tried this? Have you tried this?
I totally tried it. I'm negligent. I was also going 30 miles per hour. I don't care. I'm going to catch them all.
But did it work? Could you capture them from inside a car that was moving? Okay, so yeah, that is.
You couldn't pick up locations, but if you saw a Pokemon, you could catch the Pokemon.
I see. So you may be correct, Mark. This may be something that could be a distraction for drivers. I know a friend of mine used to play the previous game, Ingress, which was sort of the predecessor to Pokemon. He was constantly playing that in his car.
Ingress sucks.
Well, whatever you say. Yeah.
Well, maybe she'll reach level 4 on the freeway, huh?
Maybe she'll what?
She'll reach her level 4 on the freeway.
I hope so.
Thanks, Mark. I would hope that people are not playing this in their car while they're driving. That seems pretty irresponsible.
Yeah.
Never claimed I was.
This is one of the things I didn't like. Thanks again, Mark, for the call tonight. One of the things I didn't like about you could have been in a passenger seat. Anyway, one of the things that I didn't like about the Waze app when I first installed that, which is a cool app because it'll show you where police are and construction zones, there was these things called road candies that you would just eat as you drive over them, and they would just distract. There was just a distraction. It was why do I need these things? What is this? It's
Mario Kart.
Game. It was some kind of a game, little game that they'd installed in this. It was like, I don't want to play a game. This is distracting. I just want to know where the cops are. 855-450-FREE. Your thoughts on Pokemon Go. It's Free Talk Live. Are you tired of governments murdering people around the world? Stop using their money. There is an alternative. Bitcoin is a stateless, free market, non-political currency. Bitcoin cannot be inflated or controlled by any government. By using their money, you're helping the state. Stop doing it. You have an incredible alternative available now. Learn it, use it, spread it. Get started with Bitcoin at Bitcoin.com. That's Bitcoin.com. Here's a good idea. When you have a legal matter like creating your will or legally setting up a business with a corporation or LLC, you don't necessarily need a law firm. Use LegalZoom.com. At LegalZoom.com, you answer straightforward questions online, and they take care of the rest. They even review your answers for common mistakes and guarantee your satisfaction. Free Talk Live listeners, you'll get 10% off your order by typing in FTL in the referral box at purchase. Don't procrastinate with these important legal documents. LegalZoom.com.
To a professional trader in precious metals, the key is spot price. Spot price is market price, what gold or silver actually costs on the exchange. Regular people looking to invest never get spot price because resellers add fees for everything. Refining, minting, brokerage costs, commissions. The public is never offered spot price until now. In a limited new customer outreach, JM Bullion offers you the chance to own a 10-ounce bar of pure silver at spot price. No fees, commissions, markups, not even a shipping cost. Now, through JM Bullion, own the most real investment of all at real cost. Not a piece of paper from Wall Street or a bank. A 10-ounce bar of silver at spot price. That's a solid investment. But you must act now. Go online to realpricesilver.com for this limited time offer. That's realpricesilver.com. realpricesilver.com. Limit one offer per household. 50 United States only.
I'm Ian Freeman, host of Free Talk Live. We've been covering Uber for years on the radio with their ongoing legal cases across the globe defending your right to give people rides without asking government permission. I wanted to support Uber more directly, so I signed up to be a driver. It's fun to meet new people and help Uber push forward innovation. As of this recording, Uber is active in 67 countries, so there's a good chance they're available in your area. If you'd like to drive for Uber and make some money helping people get where they want to go, sign up at drive.freetalklive.com, and you'll get a $100 bonus after you complete a certain number of trips. With Uber, you can drive anytime you want. You set your schedule. To get started, you need a good driving record, 4-door vehicle, insurance, registration, and to pass a background check. It costs nothing to sign up, so visit drive.freetalklive.com. That's drive.freetalklive.com. And if you just want to try Uber as a rider, visit ride.freetalklive.com. Your first ride's free.
LRN.FM is proud to announce our official listening apps for Android and iOS devices. Now you can easily tune into our streams anywhere, anytime on your smartphone or tablet. Just visit apps.lrn.fm or search for LRN.FM in the Android or Apple app stores. Please download, rate us 5 stars, then share the link on your social media and let your friends and family know how you're listening to LRN.FM. Download it now, free at apps.lrn.fm.
For Bitcoin to be ubiquitous, people need to use it. For people to use it, they must have it. How can we get Bitcoin into more hands? Tipping. What if you could include a bonus Bitcoin tip along with your regular tip to a server? What if that Bitcoin tip returned to you if unclaimed after 30 days? An attractive business card Bitcoin tip that's easily claimed, gives instructions on wallets and spending, and returns to the tipper if unused. Tip.freetalklive.com. Tip.freetalklive.com.
Help get LRN.FM into more ears. Visit promote.lrn.fm for a free bumper sticker, flyers, banners, graphics, and more. Promote.lrn.fm.
This is Free Talk Live, and you can bring up anything you want. Toll-free number 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. Pokemon Go taking the world by storm. I don't know actually how much of the world it's been released on, but presumably most of it has access to it. We got a caller from Guam who said they got it 5 days ago, and it has become...
Guam's an American territory.
That's true. They apparently it has become the number one game. And I don't know if that's the number one game cumulatively of all time as far as downloads on Android. I don't think it's the number one game ever of all games ever. But I still would be interested in seeing the breakdown of exactly what sort of number one this game actually is. We've got the story from the New York Times, but your calls and thoughts come first. Are you obsessed with Pokemon Go? Is there a problem with this game? Is it going to cause car wrecks? Is it going to be, the huge time waster? Or is it going to get young people into shape, overweight youth that have been criticized for generations for sitting around playing too many video games? Is this video game going to be the solution that gets them out into the streets and actually getting some sunlight and getting a little bit of exercise? Daryl, you're skeptical of the entire thing. You think that it is ludicrous and ridiculous. Some of the ways that businesses are responding to this.
Right. The way businesses are offering discounts for members of this team or that team, or catch a Pikachu and get a free appetite. Like, it's stupid.
And you yourself say that you are not willing to install the app even for an attractive lady who wants to play the game with you in real life. So that's a pretty severe case of, not really being interested in this at all. I can't say I'm fixing to go install the app, but I am curious enough to ask Renee to turn her app on and see what the gameplay is like, see what people are really hooked on. Because I understood the addiction to Niantic Labs' previous entry in this sort of, I guess it's not really a series, but the predecessor to Pokemon Go, which was called Ingress.
Pokemon Go was built on top of.
Yeah, basically, yeah, essentially the guts. So I understood the addiction to it. It never really was something that stuck with me as something that was addictive, but a lot of people were addicted to it. But Pokemon Go has surpassed it hugely. Ingress was more of a niche. It was more of a, it was popular among a certain group, but it wasn't a huge hit. This is, by all indicators, a huge hit, and we'll continue with your calls and thoughts here. Gary, listening in Nashua, New Hampshire. You're on Free Talk Live. Hello, Gary.
Hey, guys, and Daryl, a sound out from Gigi and Kenny Bowman. How are you?
Doing well.
Go ahead, Gary.
Listen, have you guys checked out the privacy policy of this app?
We actually talked about that a little bit earlier in the show, and how basically if you download the app and agree to the terms, it can access everything on your phone.
Not just that, but this is the first time I've seen anyone in a privacy policy on an app in Google Play and iTunes say that it has an international transfer right. Let me quote one sentence. You and or your authorized child's PII, personally identifiable information, may be transferred to and maintained on computers located out of the United States or other government jurisdiction where the privacy laws may not be as protective as those in your jurisdiction.
Wow. So you've actually taken a look at privacy policies in detail before, and this is unusual, huh?
Completely unusual. In other words, they can sell PII, personally identifiable information, to other countries, other nation states, to companies in other countries, and I've never seen this in a U.S.-made game by a spin-off of Google, by the way. The manufacturer is a spin-off out of Google.
Correct. That's pretty disturbing. Thanks for sharing that,
Yeah.
Gary. Anything else you want to throw out there tonight?
Well, yeah, I mean, yes, kids are getting more exercise, but even some folks have called people nighttime zombies. People are going out with the game, looking for Pokemon characters, and banging into trees and falling over.
Whoa.
And I'm not making this up. I mean, the list goes on of the crazy things that are happening.
Do you have to stare? I mean, not that you know. It doesn't sound like you played the game, but do you have to stare at the phone in order to, look around, move the phone around and try to spot the character? Is that how it works?
Exactly.
Exactly. Okay.
They call it augmented reality,
right?
Where you're geolocating characters in the real world by mapping the game onto the real world.
Gary, thanks for the call tonight. I appreciate it. And that's kind of what they did with their previous game, Ingress, where these portals, these glowing things, would exist sort of in the real world, but you wouldn't see the real world in front of you in that game. It was just a map that had a location on it that you would be at. It sounds like they might have actually added this to the camera of the game, meaning that if you move move your camera around or move your phone around, if you're looking around a room or something, you could then find the Pokemon by it drawing the Pokemon over top of the camera picture.
Yeah, I don't know. I've seen stuff, and I'm looking at something right now. The Birmingham Botanical Gardens has a post on their Facebook page that says, "We have counted at least 29 Pokestops at the gardens. We have 4 gyms and have at least 3 rare Pokemon." And they've got a picture, and the picture looks like you would think of like a animated map sort of thing.
Right.
So my guess, and again, I've not downloaded the thing. I have no intentions to. But my guess, based on what I've seen, is that you can either look at the map thing, or you can switch to camera and then take a picture of your Pokemon.
So Dennis in Wisconsin may have more to say. Or Dennis, you're on Free Talk Live. What do you know about Pokemon Go? Go ahead, sir. Dennis in Wisconsin?
Wait.
Hey, we hear you.
My name is Travis.
Oh, sorry, Travis. They definitely spelled that wrong. Go ahead, Travis. You're on the air.
It's all good. Well, here's my big problem. I play Pokemon Go, and I see all this backlash on it, and especially from capitalists and ANCAPs and all that. And what I don't understand, this is showing positive feedback from the free market. Like if you look at what Michelle Obama did, try to force people to eat, healthy food. The free market did it just by an app, and it was for free, and there was no pushing people to use it, nothing like that.
So you're a player. You're a player of the game, Dennis. How many hours have you logged playing Pokemon Go so far?
Honestly, I don't know. I've been just playing every day. It's more reason for me to go outside and play. Like I don't usually go. I go outside otherwise, but it's more reason to, I guess. And
now, are we right in our speculation? Again, Daryl and I completely ignorant to how this game plays. I played Ingress, but apparently this is a little bit different. Are you looking around with your camera on your phone, sort of panning around to try to find the little beasties?
Well, basically what it is, it's like on Google Maps, how it shows you the arrow and whatever your destination is go.
Yeah.
And then, and on the corner of the screen, it'll say if a Pokemon is nearby. And then when you get nearby, the closer you are, it'll tell you how close you are to the Pokemon, and then it'll pop up. And then it'll come to, use your camera, and it's like catching a Pokemon in real life, like CGI, whatever. If
maybe I'm not describing really well how this works for a radio audience, hopefully I am, to where augmented reality is where, like a good example of augmented reality, the first app I've ever used that was augmented reality was a satellite finding app, where if you took your phone, it would show you the video feed from your camera and your phone. You pointed at the sky, and it would actually show you in the sky where the satellites are via little computer graphic points overlaid on top of the actual the phone's video feed. Is that what they're doing in this app, where you pull your phone up when you're close to the Pokemon, then you sort of look around, and then there's the Pikachu or whatever on your video feed?
Yeah, pretty much.
And that's why people are running into the trees.
But that's their own dumb fault. You know what I mean? Like me, I'm aware. It says be aware of your surroundings when you start the game. Like,
right.
I'm sorry that can't, blaming a game for why people are running into trees or whatever, that's their own fault. I mean, are we going to blame, that's like blaming the gun. Like, got to blame the gun because this idiot, it's just that kind of.
Now, what is the benefit of teaming up with other people in this game?
You don't really team, I guess, like in a gym, because I haven't played the gyms yet, but like you're supposed to beat one gym, because there's 3 teams. There's yellow, blue, and red. Mm-hmm. So let's say that there's a yellow gym and there's 3 people at that gym. If you beat them all, then you take over that gym. I mean, I guess that's how it works. I don't know.
So wait, you fight the other players in the game? I thought you were only capturing the Pokemon.
No, you can fight other players. I mean, like I said, I don't know too much about the gyms. I haven't really tried them. I'm just out catching Pokemon and stuff.
So the only place that you can fight another player is at a gym. You can't fight them when they're in the.
He said he doesn't know because he's not been to the gym.
Okay, all right, but you can't, to your knowledge, you can't fight them anywhere else in the game.
No, not yet. But I guess in the updates, they're going to be. I guess in the new update that's coming, you're going to be able to trade your Pokemon and I guess battle with other people. I'm not for sure. I mean, that could just be rumor. That's how that stuff works. But.
Interesting. Is there a chat in the game where you can talk with the other players? They used to have that in the Ingress game. Dennis, thanks for the call tonight, man. I appreciate the inside scoop from a player. Your thoughts are appreciated. Thanks, Dennis. Toll-free number 855-450-FREE. Pokemon Go, humongous, tremendous success commercially so far with it being the number one most downloaded game. Is that of all time? That's the detail I'm not real sure on. And is it only on the Android platform, the iPhone platform, or all games ever?
For Bitcoin to be ubiquitous, people need to use it. For people to use it, they must have it. How can we get Bitcoin into more hands? Well, tipping might be a great way. What if you could include a bonus Bitcoin tip along with your regular tip to a server? What if that Bitcoin returned to you if unclaimed after 30 days? An attractive business card-sized Bitcoin tip that is easily claimed, gives instructions on wallets, spending, and returns to the user if unused? Tip.freetalklive.com. Tip.freetalklive.com. Are you tired of governments around the world killing innocent people? Stop using their money. There is an alternative. Bitcoin is a stateless, free market, non-political currency. Bitcoin is money that cannot be inflated or controlled by any state. By continuing to use their money, you're perpetuating the killing. Stop doing it. You have an incredible alternative available to you now. Learn it, use it, spread it. Get started with Bitcoin at Bitcoin.com. It's Bitcoin.com. We've all heard about blockchain assets like Dogecoin, Ether, and Ripple. Bitcoin isn't the only player in the blockchain game any longer. And for those of us wondering how to get our hands on these digital assets, finally, there's a solution. Shapeshift.io allows you to buy and sell between your digital assets and Bitcoin instantly between your own digital wallets. I've used it with ease. Shapeshift.io. There's no account or email address needed. You send them the crypto you want to sell. They send back the crypto you want to buy. It's that easy. Shapeshift.io.
DVD, books, music, instruments, periodicals, computers, software, electronics, photo, cell phones, office products, home and garden, bed and bath, furniture, kitchen, pet supplies, automotive, hardware, apparel, shoes, jewelry, grocery, healthcare, sports and outdoors, toys, games, used, and more. It's a department store at your fingertips. Shop.freetalklive.com. Get all your shopping done, get a great deal, and a portion of your purchase goes to benefit Free Talk Live when you enter Amazon via shop.freetalklive.com.
You're listening to the live edition of Free Talk Live. Hour number 3 is next after the news here on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
From Keene in the Shire, the Liberty Media capital of the world, this is Daryl W. Perry, host of FPP Radio News for Monday, July 11th, 2016. Silver is trading at $20.26 per ounce. Gold is valued at $1,355 per ounce. And according to BitcoinAverage.com, the average price of Bitcoin is $650. Antiwar.com reports Syria's military announced over the weekend a 72-hour extension of the nationwide ceasefire which they declared for Eid al-Fitr. The ceasefire never really took hold in the first place, and so far the signs are that the continuation isn't accomplishing much either. Though there were a few parts of the country that saw a relative calm during the Eid al-Fitr celebrations, the overall level of violence was said to be largely unchanged. On Sunday, the fighting largely centered on Aleppo, where al-Qaeda rebels are fighting with the military over areas around the key supply road. Although the military had initially presented the ceasefire as all-encompassing and nationwide, it appears to have excluded al-Qaeda and the Islamic State, albeit not explicitly so, as Syria and its allies have continued targeting both throughout and publicly affirmed such incidents. Though the Eid ceasefire was seen as an effort at being conciliatory during the important Muslim holiday, it isn't clear why there is an extension, as it doesn't appear that most rebel factions plan to abide by it anyhow. The Free Syrian Army had accepted the initial ceasefire but has yet to comment on the extension. Are you an advocate for free market money? Do you promote Bitcoin as an alternative in a fiat-centric world? Then you need Spendabit in your arsenal, the search engine for things you can buy with Bitcoin. Spendabit aggregates millions of products from thousands of Bitcoin-enabled merchants. Keep your money in the free economy. Visit spendabit.co today. Bitcoin merchants, ask about our merchant suite to reach even more customers. Spendabit.co. UPI reports the British government rejected an online petition signed by more than 4.1 million people seeking a second referendum on the country leaving the European Union. The Foreign Office said the referendum was a once-in-a-generation vote and the decision must be respected. The referendum to leave the European Union, known as Brexit, was supported by 52% of voters on June 23rd. The petition said, "We, the undersigned, call upon Her Majesty's government to implement a rule that if the remain or leave vote is less than 60% based based on a turnout of less than 75%, there should be another referendum. The referendum turnout was 72.2%, according to the Electoral Commission. Parliament must consider all petitions that receive over 100,000 signatures. The petition committee was verifying signatures and had already thrown out 77,000 fraudulent ones. For nearly 40 years, Roberts & Roberts Brokerage has been a trusted source for buying and selling precious metals like gold and silver. They also take Bitcoin for precious metal purchases and have permanently removed the minimum purchase amount for all orders paid in the digital currency. Call Roberts & Roberts today for knowledgeable advice on buying and selling precious metals and a forward-thinking approach to new technologies. 800-874-9760 or visit online at rrbi.co. Reuters reports 3 countries have warned their citizens to stay on guard when visiting U.S. cities rocked by sometimes violent protests that erupted after a string of police shootings. The United States regularly issues travel warnings urging Americans to either avoid or exercise caution in countries marred by violence or police instability. Now the United States is the focus of concern by foreign governments in the Middle East and Caribbean as protesters marched in U.S. cities throughout the weekend after police killed black men in Louisiana and Minnesota last week. The protests have led to numerous arrests, scuffles, and injuries in confrontations between police and demonstrators. The United States was also tense after a lone gunman on Thursday shot dead 5 police officers during a protest in Dallas. The U.S. Embassy in Bahrain, a tiny Middle Eastern island nation, on Saturday urged citizens via Twitter to be cautious of protests in crowded areas occurring around the U.S. The Bahamas, a Caribbean nation with a majority black population, on Friday warned its people to be careful when visiting U.S. cities rocked by shootings of young black males by police officers. The Bahamian Foreign Ministry said in a travel advisory, in particular, young males are asked to exercise extreme caution in affected cities and the interactions with police. Do not be confrontational and cooperate. The United Arab Emirates urged its students and other citizens in the United States to also be careful, using similar language that the U.S. State Department employs when warning Americans about countries that have fallen victims to attacks by extremists. This has been FPP Radio News, online at fppradio.com.
Everyone in a bustling Chinese parade is attempting to elude pursuers. Newly discovered cave paintings suggest early man was battling a lot of inner demons, and a xylophonist is shredding it. This Tuesday, FBI officials disclosed details of a disturbing al-Qaeda plot to just kick back, relax, and savor the inevitable collapse of the United States. Intelligence agencies confirmed the massive coordinated plan involves terrorist cells across the globe, training specifically to take a load off and unwind as America's political infighting, class divides, moral indolence, and environmental self-destruction gradually tear the nation apart.
Our righteous warriors will devote our time to relaxing and really soaking in the infidels' self-destruction. America's cities will be reduced to ruins. The economy will come to a standstill. And we, the Blessed of Islam, will kick back, put our feet up, and enjoy the show. It's going to be great.
This is the Onion News Network.
Free Talk Live.
It's Free Talk Live, and you can bring up whatever you want. We've had people talking about the phenomenon of Pokemon Go, which has just blown up to the top of the download charts within hours.
As Donald Trump would say, it's huge.
Within hours of its release last week, according to one of the stories I found here about Pokemon Go, some of the charts and data about its download. Apparently, I was wrong in speculating that it was available to the world. It is available only so far officially in the United States, Australia, and New Zealand. But in those countries, it has already caught fire, according to SimilarWeb.com. On July 8th, it is now the 11th when we're doing this show. Only 2 days after the app's release, it was already installed on 5.16% of all Android devices in the United States. If that doesn't seem like much, consider that by Thursday, July 7th, that's like 1 day after it was released, Pokemon was already installed on more U.S. Android phones than the Tinder app. Tinder, the incredibly popular dating app or sex app or whatever you want to call it.
So I wonder, the hookup would probably be the right word, but okay. I wonder if people are using the Pokemon Go to wind up hooking up with people. Because we do know that somebody was somehow able to use the Pokemon Go app to wind up finding people that he could rob.
Is it prostitution if you have sex for Pokemon?
Would depend on the wording of the statute in the state. Some states, I know New Hampshire is one of those where they use this sort of all-encompassing term to where technically if you tell your significant other, hey, I'll do X if you do the dishes.
Any kind of deal, any kind of
consideration, I believe is the legal term that they use.
Oh, wow.
So, you do the dishes and I'll, do something for you. Technically prostitution in New Hampshire.
It's not just installs where Pokemon Go is killing it on app management as well. The app's usage has been unbelievably high. Over 60% of those who have downloaded the app in the U.S. are using it daily, meaning around 3% of the entire U.S. Android population are users of the app. Remember, this data is a few days old at this point. This metric, which we refer to as daily active users, has put Pokemon Go neck and neck with Twitter. And in a few more days, Pokemon Go will likely have more users, daily active users, than well-established social networks, or than Twitter. For instance, they say that Pokemon Go is taking up a ton of user time. As of July 8th, the app was being used for an average of 43 minutes, 23 seconds per day, which is higher than WhatsApp, Instagram, Snapchat, and Messenger. That's pretty shocking.
Yeah.
Think about how many young people are on Facebook, are using the Facebook Messenger app. This thing has, according to this chart here at SimilarWeb.com, 43 minutes a day for Pokemon Go users, 12 minutes on Messenger. So 4 times as many minutes being spent.
About 3.5.
Yeah, on Pokemon Go. And that's on day number 2. Outside of the U.S., users around the world have been trying to download Pokemon Go using an APK by bypassing the official App Store. Since the app's release, according to APKmirror.com, their traffic exploded, increasing from just over 600,000 visits on July 5th, so before the app was released, and shooting up to 4 million visits on July 6th.
Wow.
So just an incredible amount of people interested in this app, downloading it and using it. The New York Times has more about the phenomenon and what augmented reality is all about. Because for some people, this is a new technology. This is a new concept, even though the idea of augmented reality has been around for years. This may be its first major market splash with a majorly heavily downloaded app that uses augmented reality. We'll talk more about augmented reality, and you can join us here. The toll-free number, 855-450-FREE. First up, we go to Dave in New Hampshire. You're on Free Talk Live. Hello, Dave. Dave in New Hampshire. Hey there.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Hello?
We got you.
Oh, gosh. I wanted to update you about today we had a demonstration, protest for NHExit.com.
Oh, all right. Tell me about it.
We decided that with Hillary being in the news and everything, we would protest against the FBI and suggest that they leave New Hampshire.
Well, it's a fine idea. So you went to the FBI's head office in Bedford, New Hampshire, as I understand it.
I don't know if it's a head office. I think it's considered a branch office.
Yeah.
And we didn't see any of them while we were there.
I bet they saw you.
Yeah, presumably.
I imagine the FBI has video cameras surveilling their property there.
I guess so, yeah. I did go by there a week or two ago just to sort of see if they were really there, I thought eventually we might demonstrate there, but the day I was there, it was a weekend, and I couldn't see for sure.
What kind of security is at the Bedford office of the FBI? Bedford's sort of a town just to the southwest of Manchester, kind of a bedroom community or a suburb of Manchester in that way. Not exactly a huge place.
Yeah, I don't know what kind of security they have because I couldn't get into the building. Maybe that would be an indicator.
Okay.
but no, it was a weekend, so that was the reason it was closed. Or it was
I thought you were saying it was today. It was yesterday, is what you're saying. The app.
The demonstration was today, but just a week or two ago, I did go by the office and it was while the building was closed, so I didn't even go inside the building, and I didn't know where they were in the building.
So is it like just like a privately owned building where they have an office in there, or is it an obviously sort of institutional government facility owned by the federal government?
It's leased. They're leasing it from some larger, from a company or something where they have like lots of different businesses in the same building, I think.
So then you, at the very least, can access the parking lot. There's no physical security, barbed wire fence, or anything like that around the place.
We could have. I chose not to go into the parking lot during the demonstration. I figured we would, we should stay off private property, essentially. But some activists did park in that parking lot. What we ended up doing was demonstrating at a busy intersection, which was right nearby. And it sort of turned into more of a sine wave, especially with them not trying to interfere with us or come out and tell us what to do or anything.
So were there a lot of NH exit, secessionist signs, or were there specific go away FBI signs, or both?
It was a pretty non-controlled protest. It was sort of everybody just did their own thing, and I think a lot of people driving past at first didn't have any idea what we were doing there. So I already have one sign that says nhexit.com on it, and so I went ahead and made a second one. And instead of doing much of anything else, I pretty much spent almost the whole time just standing as far forward or backward from the crowd with a sign that just said nhexit.com, so that the last thing people would see as they drove by would be that URL, and hopefully they'd remember it.
Great. I love it. I love that there's regular secession events happening in New Hampshire now. It's been one a week for the last 3 weeks, and I think keeping up the pressure is a good idea to continue conversations, to continue starting conversations in the media and at dinner tables, at offices, water coolers, that kind of thing.
And speaking of Hillary, her and Bernie will both be in Portsmouth tomorrow. Together. And I'm trying to find out what time. So far, I've seen several news stories about they were both going to be in New Hampshire. And for some reason, I thought it was going to be today. And, when Dave mentioned the protest, I was like, wait, when's Hillary coming to New Hampshire? It's actually going to be tomorrow.
So is old Bernie falling in line here with the Democratic Party? Is he getting behind the establishment at this point?
The speculation is that Bernie will actually wind up endorsing Hillary tomorrow at the Portsmouth High School. But again, I cannot find out what time the event begins.
Well, it's not like they're going to let you in anyway.
Well,
I wasn't going to drive 2 hours to go. But anybody that's nearby or closer, it would be an excellent...
Might be a good NH exit opportunity.
NH exit.
Yeah, that's a good point. Dave, thanks.
Yeah, I did put it...
Go ahead, sir.
Well, a couple things I wanted to mention. First of all, the turnout was fairly disappointing. I think there were only about 9 of us. And also, we did not get any reporters. No reporters showed up, except for, unless you count me.
Yeah, I can see that. Well, we got to keep up the pressure, and in that case, I did not send a press release out. Not that I should be the only one who does those things, but Dave, thanks for the call. It's Free Talk Live.
Every once in a while, you get information that's worth changing your life for. This is one such time. You can save up to and beyond 25% on all purchases at Amazon. You probably heard of Bitcoin and just not thought much about it. You certainly know that you can get competitive pricing at Amazon, but now you can get a 25% discount on nearly everything you need to live. I've just given you a huge raise, and all you have to do is claim it. You go to saveitpurse.com and open an account. Do this right now. Don't wait. Then you fund the account with Bitcoin. You can buy them through expresscoin.com with a check or money order. There are other ways to get Bitcoin, but that's fast, safe, and easy. This information is worth you changing the way you do things. Go to saveitpurse.com right now, get signed up, and cash in on the huge raise I'm offering you. 15 to 25% off of everything at Amazon through saveitpurse.com. It's saveatpurse.com.
Are you worried about your mom or dad living alone in their house? Hi, I'm Joan London. Listen, I know how difficult it is to find senior care for someone you love. That's why I recommend a free service called A Place for Mom. They are the nation's largest senior living referral service. Call A Place for Mom today.
To receive free information on senior living communities in your area, call A Place for Mom at 1-800-704-6182.
A Place for Mom offers free one-on-one advice from local advisors and a personalized list of senior living communities you can visit. If you have questions about senior care for your mom or dad, there's a place for answers, A Place for Mom.
Call A Place for Mom in the next 10 minutes to get your free ebook on financing senior care as well as free information on senior living communities in your area. Call 1-800-704-6182. That's 1-800-704-6182.
Free Press Publications is an independent, alternative media and publishing company founded in June 2009 with the mission of ensuring a free press for the freedom movement and is committed to spreading the message of peace, freedom, love, and liberty. FPP also gives new authors an avenue for publishing freedom-oriented material. FPP brings you daily news and commentary on the website fpp.cc, as well as a daily 5-minute newscast, FPP Radio News, and weekly news, views, and commentary in the FPP Freedom Minute and Peace, Love, Liberty Radio at fppradio.com, and the monthly newspaper FPP News at news.fpp.cc. Find FPP online at fpp.cc. That's fpp.cc, as in Creative Commons.
The 3 most important things you can do for Free Talk Live are: 1, share 1 episode a week on Facebook or in some other social networking site. 2, buy the things you buy online through shop.freetalklive.com. 3, give $5 a month to the AMP program. It's my firm belief that Free Talk Live's AMP program is the best use of your charitable dollar among liberty-oriented organizations. Support all the organizations you love, but make sure you give $5 a month to AMP at amp.freetalklive.com. There's no better app for tracking the value of cryptocurrencies than CoinCap. I've had a lot of apps for tracking Bitcoin, but none that's ever been able to track 500 digital assets at once. Their best feature is the Altfolio. I love this thing. You enter how many Bitcoins, Ether, Dash, Doge, or whatever else you have, and it tells you how much your crypto is worth. You can watch yourself get rich. If you have crypto, go right now to coincap.io, or you can use the Apple Store or Google Play to get the app. I love CoinCap. coincap.io.
This is the Liberty Radio Network, broadcasting the latest liberty-oriented audio content 24 hours a day at LRN.FM.
It's Free Talk Live. You may join us right here. The toll-free number is 855-450-FREE. You can talk about whatever's on your mind, whether it's Bernie and Hillary or Pokemon Go, the humongously popular app that is available right now for smartphone devices with now more than 7 million downloads in less than a week, I believe, since it was released.
Something like that, probably. Yeah. I'm looking at the listing in the Google Play Store, and it just shows 5 million plus. Right. It's a almost 57 megabyte program.
That's big.
In-app purchases range from 99 cents to $99.99.
According to one estimate, speaking of those in-app purchases, only estimated for the iPhone version of the game, 1.6 million, I believe, per day is being brought in through those in-app purchases, and that's just supposedly on the iOS platform. So that doesn't include however many Android users are purchasing whatever it is they're buying there for 99 cents or more.
Right, and here's something that seems a little strange to me. Under notes about the app, this app is free to play and offers in-game purchases. It is optimized for smartphones, not tablets. Is there some kind of weird tracking purpose for that?
A lot of tablets, the cheaper tablets don't have GPS. So the tablet I have does not have GPS. So it does not know unless it is Wi-Fi connected where it is.
Okay.
So that could be what they're saying. Also, it could just simply be that the layout of the screen is set up for a phone and not a tablet. Tablets have a higher resolution generally than a phone will. There's more screen space, so it may not have just simply been designed for use on a tablet. What they're doing is they're warning you, saying it might look funky on a larger screen. I think that's all that
It
is.
also says compatibility not guaranteed for devices without GPS or devices that are connected only to Wi-Fi networks.
Yep. So let's go to Ralph in New Jersey. You're on Free Talk Live. Hello, Ralph. Ralph in New Jersey. Going once. Ralph in New Jersey. There you are. All right, go ahead.
All right. Here's the deal, right? You probably heard the pronouncement made by Lady Godiva today on CNN.
Who?
I want to have a talk with white people. I mean,
Who's Lady Godiva? Is that like Lady Gaga or something?
What? No. That's Hillary Mark. I'm a woman. That's Hillary right there.
Hillary.
That's Hillary.
Okay.
Yes. All right. That's Lady Godiva. And,
So, hold on. Lady Godiva was famous for having ridden through town naked on horseback. Are you wanting to see Hillary ride around naked on a horse?
Well, well, this obscenity, that is hoisted upon us, Hillary, is now urging white people to, live, to live the experience of the black. Okay.
She's ordering white people to live the experience of black people.
Oh, that's right. In effect, this is typical white self-hate or white guilt. You can take a pick regarding that, and
it just sounds like authoritarianism to me. I mean, to order someone to have some sort of an experience that they obviously can't have.
You know white guilty. You know white guilty. Okay.
No, I don't know white guilty. I don't know what you're talking about. I mean, I know the idea of it, but I don't know it personally. Why do you keep saying that, Ralph?
You know the LaSalle?
I'm not guilty, sir, for oppressing other human beings throughout history.
I forgot the first name now, but you.
My name's Ian.
Okay, Rachel de LaSalle. Do you remember that one?
Rachel from the South.
Yeah, that's self-identify herself as a black individual. That's probably.
I don't know.
No, he's talking the woman from Montana, Rachel Dolezal. That she was the head of like the NAACP.
Yeah, and she was masquerading as though she were black. She had like a black hairstyle. She had dyed herself or something like that.
Yeah.
Let's go on with the issue of the day. Okay, at the heart of the
Pokemon Go.
How is Pokemon racist? Like they're all yellow.
No, see, they were.
Oh, I know. They've all got Japanese names, so they're attributed that cultural attrition or whatever the hell
they have Japanese names.
Pikachu sounds Japanese.
But then there's other ones like Charizard or something like that. That's not very Japanese. Ralph, good luck catching them all out there. Thanks for the call. Toll-free number 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733.
And Ian, hint. The company that created Pokemon is a Japanese company. That's why they all have Japanese-type names.
They don't all have Japanese-type names, though. Squirtle? That's not a Japanese name.
Oh, yeah, okay.
There's probably a Japanese version of the name, but that's the Americanized version. The company also has Nintendo of America offices that localizes games for local release. Although this one sounds like it was actually developed by Niantic Labs, in partnership with Nintendo. So it may not have actually been developed by Nintendo of Japan, although I'm sure they're working feverishly on a copy that will be released there within moments. I'm surprised it didn't get released in Japan at the same time as this version did. Maybe they're using the Americans to beta test it for them.
Yeah, they're probably like, let's see if the weird Americans will do this thing, and then we might give it to the people over here.
Ricky is on the line in Pennsylvania. You're on Free Talk Live. Ricky.
Gentlemen, good evening.
What's on your mind?
Well, I'm going to talk about the Pokemon thing, but before I do, if possibly, because, I don't see good, if Daryl could give me a helping hand and pull something up for me along the ways that I'll get back to in a little bit.
That's right, Free Talk Live, your personal search assistants. Go ahead, Ricky. What is it?
You know what I think about.
What can we search for you today?
Well, I'm going to resist the temptation. Daryl.
Yes.
He's sitting right here.
Hey, Daryl, if you could do me a favor.
Hey, Ricky.
If you could pull up Sega Retro /Windows_CE for me for a minute and check that out for me.
Warning,
I'd appreciate it.
Installing malware. What is he going to find on this page, and why should he pull it up for you?
Well, we'll get to that at the end.
Well, I don't know if we're going to have all that time.
Windows CE is an operating system developed by Microsoft. Sega Dreamcast is known for running an optimized version of something.
Okay, so there you go. Sega Dreamcast.
All good. It's all good, but the Pokemon crap. I used to be a competition class gamer till I started to lose my sight in about 11.
Mm-hmm.
And this is exactly that. This is designed to be Pokemon crap. And it is crap, and it's buggy crap, and it's supposed to be, and it's gaining the exact result that they want out of it.
Well, that sounds pretty conspiratorial. I mean, why is it supposed to be crap? Why would a company release a game that is full of bugs on purpose?
To make it hard to play. But
why would they want to do that? They want to make it easy to play. They want people to buy stuff in the game. If the game's crashing or you can't log in because the servers are full, that prevents someone from buying the in-game purchases.
You pay to get better server connections.
Is that an option, or are you making that up?
I don't know. I'm just throwing out conspiracy bullcrap because that's what Ricky's doing. I'm just making it up as we go along.
So is he.
Not at all. That is exactly the way these things operate.
I don't think so, Ricky. Thank you for the call tonight. No, what it is the game is brand new. It got way more popular, way faster than they thought, and it crashed the servers when they had millions of people trying to log in. They have to scale it up faster than they expected. That's all that is.
CadyArmor.com is your one-stop shop for the highest quality body armor, period. With packages starting at $169.99 and free shipping on every order. Why would you go anywhere else? Cady offers rifle threat-rated armor up to level 4. And now introducing trauma pads. Go to CadyArmor.com and get your body armor today while you still can. Mention this ad and receive a free water filter for a limited time with any body armor package. Go to CadyArmor.com. That's CATI Armor.com. Come and take it.
So you've got to take a state construction license exam or certification. Can't decide on what books or what chapters to study? Discover right now how you can eliminate unnecessary books and wasted study time. At ContractorExam.com, our study materials zero in on state-required test topics in an effective, multiple-choice format. So whether you're a plumber, electrician, general contractor, or other construction-related trade, ContractorExam.com will help get you prepared. Visit us at www.ContractorExam.com today.
On Free Talk Live, we're bringing people to the ideas of liberty every day. From wrestling superstars like Glenn Jacobs.
You guys really are having an impact, I believe. Like I said, a lot of where I am now is due to listening to Free Talk Live. You changed my mind on some very important issues years ago.
To random people tuning in on the radio.
I was kind of stuck in the left-right paradigm. I heard your show by chance on a Saturday night. From there, I went on, joined the Free State Project, and become an amplifier. So, I mean, that's really the reason why I amp is because I know that if it wasn't for you guys being on as many stations as you are, I never would have found the ideas of liberty.
Your amp will directly change more lives by getting Free Talk Live in front of people looking for talk radio online and on the air. When you amp Free Talk Live, you get perks like access to the AMP-only Facebook group and AMP podcast. Visit amp.freetalklive.com. Arcade City is a ride-sharing app built by drivers, not a mega corporation. As a driver with Arcade City, you can keep all of what you earn. Sign up now to drive for or ride with Arcade City at arcade.freetalklive.com. Arcade City is connecting drivers directly with riders and has been making headlines for disrupting the ride-sharing industry. Sign up now at arcade.freetalklive.com. That's arcade.freetalklive.com. For years, LRN.FM has had a listen line that you can call and listen to LRN.FM anytime. Now we're taking the idea to a new level with the LRN.FM audio on-demand line. You can call 641-793-9660 anytime and listen to LRN.FM's live feed, and you can listen to a bunch of our original shows on demand. Long-distance fees may apply. Just dial 641-793-9660 and choose from the menu. 641-793-9660.
Every once in a while, you get information that's worth changing your life for. This is one such time. you can save up to and beyond 25% on all purchases at Amazon. You probably heard of Bitcoin and just not thought much about it. You certainly know that you can get competitive pricing at Amazon, but now you can get a 25% discount on nearly everything you need to live. I've just given you a huge raise, and all you have to do is claim it. You go to saveitpurse.com and open an account. Do this right now. Don't wait. Then you fund the account with Bitcoin. I know this sounds unbelievable, but at my house, we saved as much as 45% off of a new item on Amazon. This information is worth you changing the way you do things. Go to saveitpurse.com right now, get signed up, and cash in on the huge raise I'm offering you. 15 to 25% off of everything at Amazon through saveitpurse.com. It's saveatpurse.com.
You can sign up to receive the latest about the Liberty Radio Network via our email updates at updates.lrn.fm. That's updates.lrn.fm.
It's Free Talk Live, and you may bring up whatever's on your mind. Pokemon Go is a real phenomenon in download statistics, just an incredibly installed and kept game. Apparently, they keep statistics as far as how many people download a game and keep it versus actually uninstalling it within a few days, and apparently a lot of people are holding on to Pokemon Go. The toll-free number here, 855-450-FREE. That's 855 450-3733. Ian and Daryl in the studio here tonight. Also want to invite you to join us at HempFest coming up in real life. I don't know how many Pokemon will be hiding out on the Rogers Campground campus.
Hopefully 0.
I don't know. It sounds like these things are everywhere, Daryl. But NHHempFest.com, there's going to be thousands of people there, so you'll get to meet real people in real life, which is some people are saying is the big win to Pokemon Go, that people are meeting their neighbors for the first time. August 25th through the 28th, you'll be able to hang out with all kinds of cool folks at NH Hemp Fest at Rogers Campground. It's going to be a great time. I'm really looking forward to it. Plus, we're going to be broadcasting live from the event Thursday, Friday, and Saturday nights. You'll be able to see the live broadcast if you have the VIP ticket. Go to nhhempfest.com. Learn more about the event there and mark your calendar August 25th through 28th at Rogers Campground in the northern beautiful White Mountains. Super awesome views.
Just the White Guilty Mountains.
Just an incredible place to spend some time. So, looking forward to it. NHMFest.com. We will see you there. The toll-free number here is 855-450-FREE. As we continue here, you can share your thoughts. Pokemon Go, according to New York Times, represents one of those moments when a new technology, in this case, augmented reality or AR, which fuses digital technology with the physical world, breaks through from a niche toy for early adopters to something much bigger. The idea behind the technology is to overlay digital imagery on a person's view of the real world using the smartphone screen or a headset. In the case of Pokemon Go, players traverse the physical world following a digital map, searching for cartoon creatures that surface at random. People look through their smartphone cameras to find the Pokemon. When an animated creature appears, they toss Pokeballs at it until it is subdued. But Pokemon Go's public nature is causing unforeseen side effects, attracting crowds that disturb homeowners and creating opportunities for criminals to lure players into remote areas where they can be targeted for theft. In Australia, people have issued tips for how roving Pokemon Go players can safely play the game.
I guess I'm not understanding how somebody can lure another player somewhere.
Yeah, that part I don't really get either. So if you can explain that to us.
Unless it's one of those things of, hey, I'm on red team as well, and I've got this Pokemon that I'll trade you if you come to where I am.
But the last guy we had on said there's not a chat in the game. In Ingress, the previous game to the Pokemon Go, its predecessor, there was a chat, so you could actually talk with the other players in the game, and you could restrict the chat by kilometers. So you could only chat with players that are within 5 kilometers of your location or 50 kilometers or whatever amount. So, that would be more interesting for somebody who's experienced with the game to explain how that could be possible, given that the game doesn't allow you to interact directly with the other players, at least from what I've understood. So far, they're talking about implementing new multiplayer features into the game, so it doesn't sound like they're really even done developing this product yet. Many technology companies thought augmented reality might first take off through specialized business applications that, for example, allow architects to visualize finished building projects in situ. I don't know what that means. In situ. S-I-T-U. Maybe they left out a word there. Instead, it took a game based on a beloved entertainment franchise from the mid-1990s in Japan to help the technology go mainstream. Pokemon, a hybrid of the words pocket and monsters, belongs to the Pokemon Company, which is partly owned by Nintendo, the Japanese game pioneer, which has struggled to adapt to the era of gaming on mobile devices like smartphones and tablets. In the cartoon, Pokemon trainers use characters to battle each other for sports. The uptake of Pokemon Go, which is so far only available in the US, Australia, and New Zealand, has been so furious that it sent Nintendo's market capitalization soaring $9 billion in the last few days. Pokemon Go, they say, is the work of a startup, Niantic, which we talked about earlier. They were a spin-off company from Google. They made Pokemon Go as a partnership with Nintendo. Like the most successful mobile games, while Pokemon Go is free to play, it gives players opportunities to buy virtual items for a few dollars to speed up their progress. The game's real-world nature also gives Niantic another intriguing money-making possibility by charging fast food restaurants, coffee shops, and other retail establishments to become sponsored locations where people are motivated to go and pick up virtual loot.
So that might be why that thing that I saw on Facebook where the guy, presumably like the restaurant owner or manager was Pokemon for customers only.
Niantic has cut deals like that for Ingress, and Mr. Hankey said that's the owner of, or not owner, but the CEO or whatever of the company, said the company would announce sponsored locations for Pokemon Go in the future. Nintendo referred questions to a Pokemon Company representative who declined to comment, strangely, on Pokemon Go's popularity. Why would you have a spokesperson for media who doesn't want to talk about how popular the game is? That doesn't make any sense.
Well, depending on how the question was asked, or maybe they called, he's in a meeting right now. My deadline's in 5 minutes. He was unavailable for comment.
Jan Dawson, technology analyst at Jackdaw Research, said Pokemon Go's success was an important moment for augmented reality, mainly because it doesn't require expensive extra equipment like a headset, which virtual reality games require. This clearly demonstrates augmented reality can cross over into the mainstream on the devices that people already have in at least some cases, but it doesn't necessarily do anything for the kind of AR and VR experiences that big companies are piling so much money into. For players, Pokemon Go has been a health booster and a social cementer. Kay Collins, 22-year-old healthcare worker in San Francisco, played the game for half a day straight on Sunday while waiting in line at a tattoo parlor. My pedometer says I've taken way more steps throughout the day than I used to before I started playing this game. Of course, a lot of people are using the Fitbit thing. Mark was talking about how he and his wife have these things, the little bracelets or something like that you wear that report back to your smartphone or Bluetooth-enabled device how far you've walked in any given day.
That's not the only thing it reports back.
Jumping jacks or whatever other things that it does.
Your heart rate, it gathers a lot of health information.
She said that it had helped her explore her neighborhood. Brad Ensworth, San Francisco State University student who played the game over the weekend, said he'd never been a fan of augmented reality gaming before Pokemon Go, but was drawn in by the game's surprisingly social aspect, which is an unusual thing. He says, quote, "You'll just run into people and spark up conversations immediately." He said while playing the game in Golden Gate Park, we met this one guy who drove up from San Jose to collect Pokemon in the park, and he had more knowledge about this game than anyone else we've met so far. We called him the Guru. Pokemon mass gatherings are also on the horizon. Sarah Witch, a theater studies major at San Francisco State University, organized a Facebook group for a Pokemon Go crawl that is tentatively scheduled for July 20th. As of Monday evening, more than 18,000 people had indicated they were interested in attending, with more than 3,700 confirming that they would be there. And it's interesting, having seen Ingress, the game prior to Pokemon Go, the one that sort of inspired it to some extent, they have these Ingress gatherings where the players will actually get together in real life, and I don't know exactly what they do. Some of them probably having sex with one another and going on dates. But
is that how you run a portal?
Others are. Others, I think, are just fighting over portals in large groups or whatever. So there is some social aspect to this, although apparently you can't see the other players on the map. So I guess you just have to ask somebody, hey, are you playing Pokemon Go? Like, you actually have to talk to people in real life, or I guess you can. Although they say there's nothing really that's multiplayer about the game yet, so I don't understand why people are sort of crowding around a phone and playing this game together. What is that? Why is it that it's beneficial to be social in this game? That's
I don't know.
One aspect I don't understand.
But apparently there's a lot of shame involved with this game as well.
Really?
I've got an article from BuzzFeed where they pulled a bunch of stuff off of like Facebook and Twitter. One guy tells his shameful story about what he did.
Uh-oh. It's naughty to get his Pokemon, huh?
Not necessarily naughty. He's just not really happy with himself.
All right, we'll find out what that is here in moments. Plus, got some comments to highlight from our post over on Facebook about people playing the game. You can share your thoughts here as well. Toll-free numbers 855-450-FREE. This is Free Talk Live.
This is a life-changing message for anyone with sleep apnea who is on the go and tired of dragging around a big, bulky home CPAP device. MiniCPAP.com now offers a portable device that's as small as a soda can and weighs less than a pound. For even more freedom, you can add a battery that's as tiny as a deck of cards. It's called the Transcend Mini CPAP, and right now you can try it risk-free for 10 days by calling 1-800-941-9483. Transcend is the world's first portable mini CPAP device. It gives you the freedom to sleep in total comfort anywhere you are. Our smallest and most advanced portable design ever, Transcend is so small and so light you can fit it in your briefcase or purse to use anywhere you go. It's FAA compliant too, so you can even sleep comfortably while flying. Enjoy the freedom to sleep comfortably anywhere. Call minicpap.com now for your 10-day at-home trial. 1-800-941-9483. That's 1-800-941-9483.
This is a healthcare alert from the Pain Relief Hotline. If you, a family member, or a loved one suffers from knee, back, shoulder, or ankle pain and have Medicare as your primary insurance, we've got great news. You don't have to suffer any longer. You can immediately qualify for a pain-relieving brace at little or no cost to you by calling our 24/7 Pain Relief Hotline at 866-389-0620. Delivery is free and all paperwork is handled for you. If you are on Medicare and have knee, back, shoulder, or ankle pain, don't wait. You can qualify to immediately receive a pain-relieving brace at little or no cost by calling our 24/7 Pain Hotline now at 866-389-0620. Our representatives are standing by 24/7 to take your call and rush you your pain-relieving brace at little or no cost to you. Shipping is free and all paperwork is handled for you. Just call 866-389-0620. That's 866-389-0620. Again, 866-389-0620.
Money, power, and respect are all yours at CreditSuccessSecretsRevealed.com. Be seen as an industry leader. You can do it. The last application you filled out when it was time to hit submit, did your nerves spike? You didn't get the approval you seek, but there's a better way. We teach you exactly what to place into the right systems the right way the first time so you get approved. Get up to $100,000 in instant business credit. Many people will get cash on the spot. Use those two tools in your new corporate credit engine so you can walk into the bank and get your project funded today. It's all about today at CreditSuccessSecretsRevealed.com. Credit Success Secrets Revealed is explosive and ignites instant results. Dial 1-800-707-8719. That's 1-800-707-8719. 1-800-707-8719. Or just go to CreditSuccessSecretsRevealed.com.
Did you know you can watch Free Talk Live during our live show 7 days a week from 7 to 10 p.m. Eastern via our studio cams at cam.freetalklive.com? Plus, you can chat with other listeners while you watch, all totally free. Now that our live video stream is hosted by YouTube, our video archives will be online even faster. So be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Listen, watch, and chat all free at cam.freetalklive.com. That's cam.freetalklive.com.
This is your Robertson Roberts Brokerage Daily Precious Metals Update. In early trading Monday, gold is $10 lower at $1,357 per ounce, and silver is even at $20.31 per ounce. Bitcoin is currently trading at $646 US. Robertson Roberts Brokerage has been helping clients buying and selling precious metals for nearly 40 years. For more information, give us a call at 800-874-9760 or visit us online at rrbi.co.
What's up next? Visit the Liberty Radio Network program guide to find out at shows.lrn.fm. That's shows.lrn.fm.
This is Free Talk Live. You can bring up whatever's on your mind here. Toll-free number, 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. You can join us online. Head over to freetalklive.com. Get interactive there. In the remaining moments, we've got enough time for you. If you want to get your call in now, 855-450-FREE. With you tonight, it's Ian.
And Daryl.
And don't forget to help us out with the satellite fundraiser. It's happening right now with Free Talk Live and LRN.FM. It's a way to get the ideas of liberty onto more listeners around the globe. We've got satellite channels across North and Central America, as well as Sub-Saharan Africa. Would love to add one to Europe, as well as the Middle East and North Africa. We can do that all with one satellite, but it's going to cost some money. It's going to cost about twice as much as what the current two satellites cost. So you can go and support it over at fund.lrn.fm. That's fund.lrn.fm. There's perks available, and you can learn more about it. It's an Indiegogo fundraiser, and we did it last year, and we successfully did raise enough to continue our African satellite channel. So would like to be able to do that again this time around, and also add a third channel. So please go to fund.lrn.fm. Makes a big difference for us. Your assistance is appreciated. It's good to know that other people agree with the mission of the satellite broadcast. Even in this day and age when it feels like everybody's on the internet, there are really billions of people around the world who don't have internet access. And so this is a way for them to get information, and in our case, the ideas of liberty directly into their ears through their satellite dish in their home. So go and learn more. Fund.lrn.fm. Let's go to the phones. Actually, first, though, Daryl, you had a Pokemon confession. Someone admitting on, was it Twitter or Tumblr or something like that?
No, this, I believe, was somebody just speaking to the media. A man by the name of Harrison Forth from Brisbane, Australia, spoke about the lengths he went to beat a gym. He says, I drove to my nearest Pokemon Go gym, which was near a bar. I parked in the car park, sat in my car, beat the gym, and drove home. Forth said that while he did not regret the 10-minute drive, he certainly was not proud of it. And then they've got somebody else that had posted on Twitter, playing Pokemon Go outside, wondering if my neighbors think I'm a creepy girl taking pictures of their house. Somebody else said they skipped a lunch break and instead just walked around playing Pokemon Go. Says it's taking over my life.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
Let's go to the phones here. To the fun. Will in Texas. You're on Free Talk Live. Hello, Will.
Hey, hope all's going well.
What's on your mind?
I should say Minister Ian Bernard Freeman.
Uh-huh.
But anyway,
what are you calling about?
That call you get sometimes right there.
You're talking about James in Arizona?
Yeah, yes. I couldn't remember his name. That guy, I've heard enough of the calls, and it's like, I'm a big Second Amendment person, and he's the guy who makes me nervous throwing a gun. You know what I mean?
He doesn't make me nervous.
I get that. I'm just saying, he sounds like it. He sounds like somebody could be dangerous, whatever.
Yeah, no, I mean, he definitely sounds kind of crazy. He has threatened Mark and his family obscurely. I mean, he's never really come right out and layered out a full-on threat, but he sort of danced around, beats around the
bush.
I
hope all of this horrible stuff doesn't happen.
Right, like I hope your house doesn't catch on fire tonight with your family in it.
Yeah, and I really have hope for the guy, because I feel like he's hurting from something, and he's got hurt or something, and he's, needs to try to enjoy life more, move on and, do the best you can to make the best you can out of life. We only get one chance,
Will, thanks for the call tonight. I appreciate hearing from you. You can continue and join us here, 855-450-FREE. So interesting stories about Pokemon Go all over the place. They're just dominating social media as well. There's a piece over at Fusion.net talking about how Pokemon Go is changing people's lives. One of the posts on our Facebook page from a Pokemon player, I had asked the question earlier, is Pokemon Go a tool to gather information for the government to spy on you, or is it just a fun, innocent game? Bran responds, and he has a few things to say. Let's see. One of the things he says here is that Pokemon Go has been an amazing experience for me so far. I've actually been getting out of my house, getting tons of exercise, meeting tons of people in my neighborhood that I otherwise never would have had a reason to start a conversation with. It's getting people out into the real world and talking with one another, which is probably far more of a threat to government interests than it is an asset. He says the teams, by the way, have virtually no purpose at the moment other than for essentially playing Capture the Flag. Niantic had said that they are still figuring out how the multiplayer aspects of the game will work, but those features will be largely influenced by the players.
That just seems rather straight. We're going to put this feature in, and we don't know how it's going to work yet.
I asked the question of Bran. I said, well, how do you meet other players if you can't see them on the map? You just ask people if they're playing if you see them on their phones. He says it's fairly obvious when you're out and about. People go out in groups to play together, and you can see them stopping at all the Pokestops, and they're usually pretty enthusiastic when a Pokemon appears. There's also self-organized online groups that you can get involved in to meet up and chat with other players in your area.
And then there was mentioned a couple times about people setting up robberies.
Yeah, in Australia, was it?
Well, I actually found a story, St. Charles County, Missouri.
Okay.
4 teenagers allegedly used the newly released Pokemon Go app to commit multiple robberies in St. Louis and St. Charles counties. 17-year-old, 2 18-year-olds, and a 16-year-old. The names are in the article of 3 of the 4. I'll withhold those. But it says the suspects were located by O'Fallon police after responding to an armed robbery call about 2 a.m. Sunday morning in St. Charles County. Suspects were sitting inside a vehicle with a handgun recovered. Police believe the suspects conducted multiple armed robberies by targeting their victims through the mobile game Pokemon Go. They believe the suspects added a beacon near a Pokestop in their location, which would lure more players. So apparently you can send out a signal of Pokestop over here.
Yeah, and if you lure them to a back alley or something like that.
And then people go to where that beacon is, and then, yeah, if it's 2 o'clock in the morning, it doesn't even have to be a back alley, just, someplace that's not well lit.
Pokemon Go has had a noticeable social effect, according to Fusion.net, on its players as well, one of which has seen people from across any number of demographic lines come together to share in the real thrill of the game's virtual hunt. It may look chaotic and random, and they highlight some tweets. One from a man in Central Park. He says, Pokemon Go is just insane right now. This is in Central Park. It's basically been HQ, or headquarters, for Pokemon Go. And he includes a picture which is really full of people standing around in groups pointing their phones in different directions. So there are
Isn't that really what people do in, Central Park and Times Squares? They just sort of, stand there and take pictures of stuff?
I guess. But it's apparently different because this guy spends time in Central Park, so it's more than normal. People are coming together, they say. Another post, it's bringing people together just when we need it most. Perhaps nowhere was this point better illustrated than in a recent Reddit post by user Sloth of Doom, who described his late-night experience hunting for Pokemon at a local park, where he describes meeting people that he otherwise would not have ever had a reason to talk to.
One man from Sydney, Australia, again, I'll withhold the name because I don't want to shame this poor guy, says that he is letting Pokemon Go dictate his work schedule. Quote, I purposefully moved a meeting with a client to next week so I could play more yesterday.
Well, that's what addiction does.
That, and you wonder why I say this thing's ridiculous and ludicrous and asinine.
The phenomenon isn't just limited to Redditors either. Across social media, players have begun chiming in with their own stories of bonding with strangers while walking outside and playing the game. Quote, bonding with a pop-up worker over Pokemon Go. Pokemon Go bringing people together. Another quote from Twitter. Pokemon Go already bringing people together. Discussed with a gas station attendant. He got to brag about his new Drowsy. Fantastic. So are we really making connections here, or is this just something that is another unimportant thing for people to talk about?
It's another unimportant thing for people to talk about. You're making that quote-unquote connection the same way you do when you find out, oh, we like the same football team. Yeah, that's cool. Did you watch the game yesterday? Yeah, right. How'd you like that play? And then you don't really talk about anything of substance.
Well, maybe it will lead to something more, Daryl. Maybe, we're being too cynical here.
Yeah, it'll lead to people going to a Pokestop at 2 o'clock in the morning and getting jacked by a couple of teenagers.
Or maybe it'll lead to people getting together with groups of other players and actually getting to know them and getting to talk about more issues besides capturing Pokemon, but it seems that wouldn't be the subject that most people
I wonder how many
discuss.
Pokemon Go players use Bitcoin.
Well, that would be really cool if you could actually buy things in-game with Bitcoin, but I don't know if that's going to be around the corner. I don't know if Nintendo has ever really experimented with it. We'll see you tomorrow night, freetalklive.com.
Adam, understanding your credit score is the first step towards managing and improving it. This is Charlie Sundstrom with your Van Dyke Mortgage Minute. The most influential component of your credit score is your payment history. Almost equally as important is the amount you owe on credit accounts. Also impacting your score, but to a lesser degree, are the length of time you've utilized your credit, the number of new accounts, credit inquiries, and your various types of credit accounts. To help achieve or maintain a healthy credit score, have a system set up to assure your bills are always paid on time. Don't max out your cards. It's better to have a high credit limit with a low balance. Never close old accounts. The age of these can actually help your credit score. But don't be afraid to use your credit. You need several accounts in order to have a credit score. Just keep the corresponding payments within your means. For your mortgage pre-approval and refi needs, start by visiting VanDykeMortgage.com.
Corporate NMLS 3035. Van Dyke Mortgage is an equal housing lender. Charlie Sundstrom, NMLS 134251.
CopBlock has quickly become the top police accountability group in the United States, and maybe even the world. With chapters across the globe, there's probably a group near you that you can join. If not, you can start your own. Besides joining a local CopBlock group, you can also give just $1 a month to the CopBlock network. Your contribution helps support the efforts of those who make CopBlock possible. So please join the CopBlock network now at copblock.lrn.fm. That's copblock.lrn.fm. LRN.FM is proud to announce our official listening apps for Android and iOS devices. Now you can easily tune into our streams anywhere, anytime on your smartphone or tablet. Just visit apps.lrn.fm or search for LRN.FM in the Android or Apple app stores. Please download, rate us 5 stars, then share the link on your social media and let your friends and family know how you're listening to LRN.FM. Download it now, free at apps.lrn.fm.
This is the Liberty Radio Network, broadcasting the latest liberty-oriented audio content 24 hours a day at LRN.FM.
Hey guys, Mark Claire here, lionsofliberty.com, where we strive to advance the ideas of liberty daily.